Yo, yo, yo. Good evening. How is your Saturday going? Get rid of these. Sas. Juju Bean, what up? Hey, Marla. Dee Dee, hey there. Linda. Trouble. Are you going to be Trouble? Naya and Mary. How are you, Mary? So, we have more VT Chronicles to show you. We got to catch up with at least one more. And also, for those that were not here yesterday, hey, Mom. Hey, Lana, Stacy, and Lucy. Margaret, what up? We are having a waffle punky. Glad you could make it. Mr. Allen, how are you, sir? Hi, Julie. Thanks for stopping by, everyone. Sincerely mean that. We're having a waffle. I hope you know what waffle means. For a brand new pair of Apple AirPods. This is just an example. These are mine, but you're gonna get a brand new package. It is $20 for a number, and if the winner is local to me somewhere within an hour or so, I will deliver it myself. If it's outside the area, even out of state, I will ship it out to you. So anyone can jump in and play on that. After this, I'd like to do a Apple Watch if you guys want to do that. I know you do. Oh, I gotta take another number off of here real quick. Give me a second. The unavailable numbers are 9, 11, 15, and 16. Those are unavailable. If you want one or more, feel free to do the Cash App thing. The information, is right here. It's Cash App, $ behind the waffles. And if we can get this thing moving tonight or tomorrow, I will send it out tomorrow. If they're open tomorrow, I can send it out. If not, I'll do it Monday. So. Where do we begin? I gotta say, I was not. How do I say this? When someone makes an accusation or wants to make it sound like something very vile and very nasty, and they're trying to plant that seed, like what she said in her live, that she gets PDF vibes from me. And you know what? And I'm going to address one more thing. I don't like. You ever notice you watch YouTube videos And anytime there are a lot of words that they bleep out, words like sex, murder, rape, um, pedophile, um, sexual abuse, sexual assault, and they bleep it out. And the reason they bleep it out is because some, the bigger name YouTube people, the more popular people out there, they get sponsored, and they're sponsored by big companies or a lot of companies, and they do not want those words mentioned. It The theory is that it messes with the logarithm and where you stand, and you keep using certain words, and it knocks down your popularity. I don't think that's the case, but even if it is, I mean, if you're getting tons of viewers like they are, and they just get a few thousand less, for somebody who's got 5,000 people watching, and they lose a few hundred because of that. To me, it's like, pfft, so what? If you got 5,000 people watching, that's great. And I know they have to follow rules. But I'm not in a position where I have to be, sensitive to those words. And I don't like, I've never done it. I've never bleeped words out, but I don't plan to start, and I don't need to. And, this goes back to the whole snowflake thing, and people being, thin skinned, where they're triggered by words, everyday words that we use in our society, like murder, rape, sexual abuse, sexual assault, things like that. I know it was a real big deal during COVID. And it got to a point where there was an attempt. I know in Canada they went through it. I'm not sure where it stands now. But for example, in Canada, I mean, I believe they put it in place. I think it was Bill C-17, where if you misgendered someone with the wrong pronoun, they could actually file a report and have you put in jail. They would actually consider putting you in jail if you misgendered someone, whether it's an accident or not. And I think that's ridiculous. London, the UK, Europe is going through, actually Great Britain, they're arresting people for people who write a tweet that may provoke some people and may trigger some people. And they've actually, and you can see these videos all over YouTube and TikTok. Police actually going to somebody's house to arrest them. And the first thing you hear is, yes, you wrote a tweet on blah, blah, blah. And it's like, that is not the kind of society I want to live in, that's for sure. That's for dang sure. So, having said all of that, when somebody wants to plant a seed that I give pedophile vibes, they're blatantly trying to do something. And that's a horrible accusation and a horrible thing to falsely accuse someone of. Even jokingly like that. That's not a joke. So, yeah, I don't take that lightly at all, because that's not to be taken lightly. And I will do what I have to do if that's the kind of game they want to play. Like I said, you want to F, then I'm going to F back. What up, Chuck? I'm not monetizing. Hi, Chrissy. Hi, Stephanie. Tams Sweet as can be. Hi, Tam. Hi, Tammy. So I got another video, and there's actually a bunch of stuff that I want to show. But just to get you started here, I got something funny for you. You ready for see something funny? Are you ready for see it? Are you ready to see something funny? I am. All right. Let's see. Let's go to. Got a couple of things here. This is aside from what we're gonna watch. This is a classic. Do you guys remember this? Some of you remember this.
I'm smarter than all of y'all put together. Are you kidding me? All of y'all put together times 100 of all of y'all put together. No joke. Seriously. For real. Out of here.
What does that even mean? She's smarter than all of us times 100 of us all put together.
I'm smarter than all of y'all put together. Are you kidding me? All of y'all put together times 100 of all of y'all put together. No joke. Seriously. For real. Out of here.
Out of here. That, my friends, was a funny one. That was a good one. And then we've got Where's Waldo? Where's Waldo? You'll know what I'm talking about.
Hello, everybody. How are you? Let's see. I'm about to take off real quick.
Oh, hold on. I saw something here and I can't pass it up. Man, you want me to gift you a small apple or pumpkin pie? Well, I know the household would love pumpkin, that's for sure. And I would love that. That would be great. If you're able to do that, how can I say no? And I don't like pumpkin pie. I'd rather eat apple than pumpkin. You know what? I'll leave it up to you. Whichever one you want, that's what we'll go with. Tammy, you're the best. Thank you so much.
Let me see. Yes, I have my seatbelt on. I own none of the rights to any of the music that you may hear.
Did you know? Remember, everyone used to say, they used to play music. I don't own the rights to any of the music. I don't own the rights to any of the music. I don't own the rights to any of the music you hear. I don't. That means absolutely nothing, does nothing. It doesn't give you the right to play the music. It doesn't mean anything at all. It's useless. Why people keep saying it, or why they did say it. I know why they did say it, because they thought that if they said that, that would excuse them playing the music. And actually, that's not true. It absolutely meant nothing at all. Facebook has taken a different angle to it, where if you're monetizing, if there's music that's commercial music, or we're going to get a message that says, hey, the owner of that music is claiming rights, so you're going to share your money with the. Okay. On these live sessions that I do, I don't make any money on this, but I post a lot, and they think I do. I'm supposed to, but it's not working right, so I gave up. It's difficult to try to get a hold of somebody at Facebook, if you can imagine that. So every time they're like, you're gonna share ad revenue or remove the video, I'm like, share, that's okay. YouTube does it differently. They will, if you're not monetizing, if the copyright owner doesn't make a huge complaint, they'll just let it go. If they do make a complaint, they will ask you, do you want to delete that segment? Do you want to delete the clip? Or we can take down the video. And it's not counted as a strike against you. especially if you're not monetizing. If you're monetizing and you blatantly use some kind of music or a movie clip or something, then they will just delete the video and they'll say you have a strike. So that's why I belong to a music group where you pay a monthly royalty and you can use all this music that they have. They have a huge library of music, and that's where a lot of the things that you hear here, I get them. This software I'm using now, it's called Restream, comes with non-copyright music, like whatever's playing in the background right now. That's weird. I don't know what that sound is. What is this? Some kind of ambient music or noise or something, but there's a whole bunch of different things that they let you use, which are free of copyright trouble. See, I don't like that. Let me switch. That could actually put me to sleep. Yeah, I just leave it here for now. Anyway, where were they going with all this? Oh yeah, that she was saying we do not own the rights to any of these music. Okay.
I'm gonna wait for some of you guys to tune in. See? I love Super Tejano.
And the bad news is, so I had some kind of infection in my eye.
Hold on.
It wasn't a sty.
I'm on the Willissey Unchained, right?
And there was no little, a visible little bump or pimple on the outside, whatever, like a pus ball or something. But my eye was red. And on the inside, it feels like something is in my eye. And I've been trying to take it out, but there's probably something growing on the inside lid. So I'm going to put a hot compress tonight as soon as I'm done here. I've been using these eye drops, but I had that about a month ago. And it looks like it's back. It's coming back. And it will turn my eye red.
Selfies with all my Willissey County haters. And guess what? None of that's going to help you, Frank. None of it. So right now, while I wait for you to get on here, we'll see what you're going to do. Right now with this video, you're going to find out just how powerful you are, especially in Willissey County when it comes to me. I'm going to drive just a little bit. All right? One second. I don't want to stop this. This live feed. So I'm going to pause it really quickly. No, I'm not going to even pause it, guys. I'm going to get out of my car really quickly. Really quickly.
How old is this? Let me tell you. Oh,
because I don't want this to end.
Yes,
in the meantime, you guys have the ability as members on this page, no? Or
I wanted to play this because just listen to her, the way she's talking, her demeanor, her attitude. Now, I'm going to tell you when this was from. Hang on. Go
tag big old, Billy Badass, Frank Marr, who thought that he was going to do something about somebody. Go tag him. Tell him, hey, you're the one that's talking all this smack about Vanessa. She's addressing you live right now. So if you're about it, are you about it? Then if you're about it, then you'd be on here. So no excuses, Frank. All right? This is me dealing with you and my whole entire Willissey County. They all, even the ones that hate me, Frank, even the ones that cannot despise me, they know that you're out of your league with me. But you'll find out. You'll find out soon. Let me give you time. All right? Go tell him, guys. Tell him that he has like 2 or 3 posts right now. Let him know that he's being called out right now. A ver que tú. Oh no, Frank. One of the lawyers started talking to me, and I was like, is this your first job, like as a lawyer, or have you worked somewhere else? And she was like, I actually worked, she said, no, this is my second job, because she's very young.
What's the last thing you heard? I'm sorry, I apologize. I think I was talking about, damn it. I was saying this is circa 2019. Yes, somebody popped it up there. Thank you. Power. Thank you so much.
He says, I actually worked in Cameron County DA's office. I was like, oh, lucky you that you were able to avoid having to work with a corrupt Bernard Ammerman, who eventually left to be an assistant prosecutor from Cameron County to come and be our district attorney here in Willacy County. And the minute that I said his name, her entire face cringed. Frank, that's Bernard Ammerman, Frank. Si Bernard Ammerman no pudo conmigo, ¿Qué crees que tú vas a hacer conmigo? ¿En verdad? ¿Qué crees? If anything, Frank, you're helping me a lot. Look, first of all, my lawyers are looking all over your page. You're making absolute, bad lies about me.
Her lawyers. Yep. That team of lawyers that she doesn't have right now. Because when she went to her pre-trial meeting last week, she went pro se. You know what pro se means? Pro se, representing herself. She has no counsel. What? What happened to your team of lawyers? Didn't she say she had meetings with her lawyers and meetings with her lawyers and another meeting with the lawyers? What happened? And that's why when they set a court date in order to give her a chance to get counsel or whatever she's going to do, they gave her some cushion. Oh, I got a funny video to show you. They gave her some cushion and they made it for February 17th. Otherwise, it would have been sooner.
People are already inboxing me about you. You saw the comments on your own page, Frank. They're saying that the reason, I always wondered why you went after Erasmo Castro. Is it true what one of your commenters said? One of your commenters said that on your own page that the reason that you went after Erasmo Castro, because I thought you were going after Erasmo for the same reasons that I had a problem with Erasmo. My problem with Erasmo was that he was promoting a page very much like yours now that promoted nothing but unreasonable hate. You know what unreasonable hate is? It's not even, you see, when you go after public officials that do wrong, well, that's your right. That's not hate, it's your right. But in small towns and the family members and the friends of that particular corrupt person, they're gonna call it hate. Now, it's a legitimate reason to go after people like that. What you do, you see, you went after Erasmo initially for legitimate reasons. Then you started crossing the line, and that
Erasmo Castro was my friend. You could say he was a community activist here in Brownsville. He didn't like corruption in City Hall. He didn't like, what nobody likes, high energy rates and added fees that we're getting charged on our electric bills or energy bills, and um, corrupt politicians. And he fought against all that. And he recently passed away. Real quick, he had pancreatic, I think it was pancreatic cancer, and but it untreated, undiagnosed for a long time, and huge loss. People love that guy. I mean, people hated him. Don't get me wrong. Some people hated him, but the majority of the community loved him. And he would accept whatever messages. Oh, my my dog is lost. Can you put the picture? My cat is missing. Can you put a picture? And all that would go on his page, and he tried to accommodate everyone. He would help people fill out applications and fill out immigration applications, and he would help people fill out applications for SNAP benefits and welfare, whatever. And he was an ordained minister, so he was able to marry people, and he would actually marry people on the bridge, the international bridge, Texas, Mexico. He'd go right up to the middle, and he would marry people right there outdoors on the sidewalk of the bridge. It was the funniest thing, and it became a thing, and it was great. So rest in peace, Erasmo.
That's when your page got taken down, the first one. You are coming after me for illegitimate reasons. You don't have no reason to come after me at all. If anything, you're the one that's a stalker. You coincidentally ran into Wolf Chapa y luego quién? Luego quién? Are you kidding me? And I bet you and Wolf was probably just rubbing his mitts, and they're like, yeah, take a picture, and she's gonna freak out. I'm not gonna freak out. I'm gonna be like, that's expected. That's expected because you two are like kind of like the same person. And guys, Wolf, Frank, it's not good to be like each other. It really isn't, honestly, for real. I find it really interesting, Frank. And ¿y dónde estás? Where are you? Because you're all up in the messages on this page. Is this my regular page, or is this Willissy Unchained?
Yeah, Frank was quite the troll. And as you can tell, it's easy to trigger her. And she would just go off.
Just let me know.
And she speaks a lot of Spanish. It uses a lot of Spanish catchphrases that it's embarrassing. I guess she wants to make it sound like what does she want to make it sound like? Like she speaks Spanish all the time. But clearly she doesn't.
If it's what page am I on, guys? Hey Michael, how are you? Hi Ida. Ida what? Maribel, how are you? Hey Nicole. Can somebody please let me know what page I'm at or what page I'm on? I'm gonna wait. Right now I'm gonna stop real quick and I'm gonna check. Willissy Unchained, thank you so much, Mr. Roy Rodriguez. Hey, can you guys go and tag that guy, Frank Marr?
Hey, Lemony Snicket, I can see you here.
Is here dealing with him. You see, the thing is, Frank Marr, he's not even a public speaker. I don't even know what he thinks with his IT stuff.
There you go. Dichos Mexicanos, like just little sayings, little slang sayings. It's kind of like saying look at you," or whatever, or I don't know. It's just stupid little things like that.
I guess he thought that it's Facebook, it's a social media thing, and so techie people, those people are going to be the ones to rule. No, Frank, no, no. So if you got it in your mind that because
she almost sounds like a, kind of vibe I get, like morning radio DJ vibe. That's the kind of vibe I get.
You're really tech savvy, and you know stuff about computers, and you can create code and stuff like that, none of that matters. You know why? Let me tell you why none of that matters. A symptom or an example of why none of that matters is that no codes or nothing at all that you were taught in your informational technology or whatever it is, your IT, whatever it is you want to call it, right?
IT.
All that computer stuff and this and that. None of that helps you, Frank, when you're up against the real deal. When you're up against somebody that's the real thing, somebody that doesn't fake their life, somebody that doesn't act like there's somebody that they're not, somebody whose truth is their actions, and who's...
Now, somebody dropped me a quick little message and said, that tongue is awful white. Does that mean something? Wink, wink.
actions are their truth, Frank. None of your skill set is even, it can't even touch me, Frank. Because you see, social media is not a playground and is not going to be the people that are going to...
Oh, social media has become a playground. I mean, more like a circus, like an extreme playground. And you guys know that's true.
rise in social media are not IT people. They're not tech people. They're not, oh, because you're in computers, you think that you're going to rise in social media and you think you're going to be cool like that and uncover corruption or say that you are, but not really. The reason that IT people and stuff aren't going to be the ones that are going to be good at it is because there's another set of people that are going to reign supreme on social media. Those set of people that are going to reign supreme on social media for all the days of their lives, Frank, are people that have the ability like me to go live, Frank. People like me that have the ability to tell a story better than any video or any efforts made, like people like you, like IT people. You see, the kind of qualities that people like me possess, you can't teach this. Oh, there's broadcasting. But if they're born with it, you can't teach that. You can't teach. There's public speaking.
I thought it was thrush from something else. You know what I mean?
But you're not going to be able to teach that all in one person, Frank. No, that happens every once in a while. And that's me. That's me. So the people that are going to be really good in this social media game, okay? The people that are going to be really great in this social media game are not going to be the Frank Mars of the world. It's not going to be the George Rices of the world. It's not going to be any people that think that they're good with the computer. No. The people that are going to reign supreme on social media are the ones that offer the most realness.
So, yeah, of course, it helps somebody who offers the most realness, somebody who's authentic. And then you got those that are clowns that people want to see a side act. They want to see a train wreck. They want to see a clown make a fool of himself. And then guess what? It's the nerds and the tech people who figure out the algorithms. They figure out how you should project and you know, they figure out the path to success for anybody's page. They led the way with that. They figured that all out. So people like you can get on here and say whatever you want and try to build an audience.
The ones that speak the best, the ones that articulate their narrative stronger than anybody else, those are the ones that are going to reign supreme on social media. So while everybody else makes posts, shares pics, shares an article, links, GIFs, memes, opens up a raggedy little we fight justice, but we're just saying we fight justice. Really, we just pick on people that we don't like.
Oh, you mean like Like a survival page, kind of. Yeah, I can see that.
Those kind of people, Frank, the kind of people that you are. Look at you all desperate for likes. I cannot believe you, seriously. You have no idea the force that you're dealing with. You're way out of your league. You are not even on my level. Not even being a man. Not even you being an hombre. Nothing. You can be as alpha as you want to be, but you're not an alpha man. I can tell right away. You, in a group of other men, you immediately would be identified as a beta right away. And everybody knows that. Your speaking skills let me know you're a beta. You're a beta in every single way.
Well, if he's a beta, then maybe he's undercover, because every single time he said something or wrote something, she would get triggered AF.
So, a la mejor te calan. Like Erasmo Castro, as bad as he was an alpha male. Yeah, I know. He had his choices that he made in life and whatever. But in a room, he commanded that room. You know why? Because he's an alpha male. Yes, he did a lot of stuff that a lot of people don't like, and even I became his target. But he was an alpha male, okay?
She was not his target. He spoke about her once because someone asked him his opinion. But she was never a target. He didn't even know about her.
The reason that I'm telling you this, Frank, is you're a beta. You're always going to be a beta. You were born a beta. No skill set, no college degree, no little, thing that you do, nothing, no program, no weekend retreat, nothing like that is ever going to make you anything more than a beta male. Nothing. So, not only do alpha males like Erasmo and other alphas bother you because it reminds you of your own inefficiencies, it bothers you because a woman that you targeted me is an alpha woman. And in every single way, I am superior to you. And you don't like it. You don't like it. And you know what? I don't care how you say it. You can make a video that says, oh, she's saying that she's superior to me. She's making me, Frank Marr, who's turning into King Bully of the Valley. She's saying that she's superior to me. And I'll say it again, Frank. I'll say it 3 more times. In every single way that matters in this life, Frank, me, Vanessa Tijerina, is more superior to you.
And she is going to say it 3 times. Look.
In every way that matters in this life, Frank, Vanessa Tijerina, me, is more superior to you. 1 more time. In every way in this world, in the lives that we're currently living, in every way that matters, I will forever be more superior than you, Frank. That's why you resort to things like this. That's why on your own regular page, you don't have that many followers. You see, the reason that I'm followed more on my regular page than any of my other pages, oh, by the way, Frank, you have no idea how many pages in the Valley I'm the one that created. You have no clue. I could be one of the ones that has created some of these that you see that have 70, 80,000 people, that I don't give myself away. Because if I were to go to all the pages in the Rio Grande Valley and in Texas that I created and share all of my content all at once to an issue that I care about, well, guess what, Frank? Then everybody will know who my pages are.
This is not a long video. There's about 17 minutes left, something like that.
You're not. You're trying so desperately hard to stay relevant.
After this, I've got a real funny short clip coming up. It's only like a minute, not even 2 minutes. And Bam is in it. It was it was epic. That's coming up right after this, before we get to the recent video.
You really are. To such a degree that you made me your new plaything. Eventually, you're going to cross the line again.
Rolando, welcome, sir.
But look, no que tú. You were coming over here to Willacy County. ¿Qué ibas a hacer? What are you going to do? What? You're going to intimidate me? You think that you're gonna do the things that you do to Erasmo? Take pictures of me. Do whatever. Do whatever you want. Do whatever you want. I promise you, I will deal with you as best as I possibly can. And at the end of all this, Frank, after the end of every single time I have to push back against everything.
So, and besides the morning radio vibes, I get car salesman vibes too. Yep.
Whether you want to make this last a month or 6 months or a year or a decade, Frank, you'll always be that guy. You'll always be that guy. And I'll always be that alpha female that met your bad efforts and pushed back in the best ways possible, Frank. And at the end, I'm going to be satisfied with the outcome in the saga and my role in this whole Frank versus Vanessa thing. Just like I am in every single scenario, in everyone. So try your best, do whatever you want, Frank. And I'll tell you right now, if the people in Willacy County want me to be their sheriff, guess what, Frank? Guess what? I'm going to be their sheriff, no matter what you say. If the people in the Rio Grande Valley ever want me to be their representative for whatever reason, guess what, Frank? No matter what you do or say, it don't matter. If they vote me in to be their person, I'm going to be their person. Mm-hmm. And guess what? If one day the entire state of Texas can vote for me, nothing that you can do and nothing you did with any of the elections before that at all, or any ways that you came at me, are going to matter, Frank. Because if Texas wants me in Washington, D.C., if the Rio Grande Valley wants me one day to push me past the primary to challenge somebody else that wants a U.S. Senate seat, if Texas wants me and we have the numbers, Frank, it doesn't matter how many Frank Mars don't want me.
I don't know. I like to think what I did online to discourage people from voting for her did something. And it was kind of easy. It wasn't that difficult because nobody was voting for her in the first place. Rolando, this is from November of 2019. November 2019.
What matters is what the voters want. And if they want me, they're going to get me.
Well, they didn't. So too bad you couldn't see into the future right now.
And they're going to put me in that seat. No matter how many videos you do, no matter how many pages you talk to me about me on, no matter what piddly little thing you're doing with your life. So, yeah, that's it. Go back to your little earphones and stuff like that. Because, again, you're never going to go live like this, man. Ever. Ever. You're never going to go live like this. Y te cala. Te cala que you need your little desk. And you need your little earphones. And you need your little random room, right? You need your little thing in the background. You need all your computer stuff so that you can, have your computer thing in the back so that you can make your little show. I don't need that, Frank.
Yeah, she's got a problem with people having a little setup. I don't know why. I mean, I know why. It's probably because she can't have it. She doesn't think she needs it. And you know what? She doesn't need it. She's a big mouth without the microphone just fine. I think it'd be worse with a microphone.
I don't need none of that. With the absence of all of that stuff, I'm still more effective than you. And I will always be, even with your IT degree.
When Frank went live, he would go live once a week, maybe a couple times a week. But, he got a huge following and a lot of people would watch. More than watch her, that's for sure.
Because in social media, Frank, what matters is not how smart you are with technology. In social media, what matters is how you make people feel. And you are creepo number one in the Rio Grande Valley right now. You are. For you, all of a sudden, people to identify you. You used to be the little sweetheart in Brownsville. Mira, el muchacho, que he doesn't like Erasmo Castro the way that we don't like Erasmo Castro. But then, you chose to set your sights on me. And people don't hate me as much as they hate Erasmo Castro. They don't. Now a message to the rest of my haters.
People didn't like Erasmo because he would call them out. It was politicians, almost exclusively. Politicians, he would call out corruption wherever he saw it. So of course, you're going to get people that don't like him. The people that are corrupt are the people that didn't like him. And just like this one, I try to contradict her bullcrap all the time with factual truth. And of course, she doesn't want that. That's why she don't like me. That's why she wants me taken down or the pages reported or whatever. Good luck with that.
I was going to make this video the other day, but since I'm already on here, look at the way that I dealt with Frank, you guys. Look at the way that I dealt with Frank. You know what? This next video that I'm going to do, just to my haters, I'm going to stop this right now, and I'm going to start another video right now, and this is going to be just to my haters in Raymondville. And you know who you are. You know who you are. Trying to help Frank and this and that. Seriously, you guys did a way better job. Really. There's like, what, 3 or 4 hate pages here in Willacy County for Vanessa. All of you guys put together have more likes than even Frank does on his page. For real. You guys did a better job trying to bring me down. Everything. The whole, you're not a nurse, you're not a biologist, you do this and this kind of drug, you're a bad person because of your arrest. And none of that worked.
Oops.
None of it. As much as you guys tried. And look at Frank with all his fancy stuff trying to do the same and still failing even worse than you guys did without all the equipment that Frank had. Let me just make this all in one video. Look. To my haters. Guys, you guys don't understand. For real. Look. A lot.
I mean, that's gaslighting, right? I mean, there she was saying, "Oh, she does drugs and this, her arrest, and she does all that," and she mocks it. She hasn't changed one bit.
A long time ago, this is what I realized.
Me too. I love that Osmo. He was genuine. He was a good guy. Good guy.
When I read the statistics, I live in an area that is the poorest area in the entire nation. It's the Rio Grande Valley, you guys. It took me a little time. It took me a while because when I was a teenager, I thought, oh my goodness, I'm not going to be able to make it in this world. Everybody around me thinks that they're right when really they're not right. They're either not following the rules or they're doing it in a way that should change.
Oh, that's rich. Telling other people they're not following the rules. Oh. This is 2019. If she could only see into her future, that she would be arrested. So 2019, I imagine she had 1 or 2 arrests already. She was going to get another 11 or 10 or 11 more. I wonder if she was told that, would she believe it?
Right? So it was really hard for me. So I decided, well, I'll just become a nurse. Yeah. And then I'll go to school and I'll just get into medicine, right? Well, you guys, along that way, I realized, there's all this hate that exists here in the Rio Grande Valley. And I started to think, as I grew up and I got older, I was like, the problem's not me. The problem in the Rio Grande Valley is the people in charge. The problem's not me. I was almost going to be, but like, some of you are my haters and you're watching this right now because I see your faces on the thing. And you guys, a lot of you tried to break me. It was weird when I saw you guys coming at me, especially in Willacy County, because I would look at all of you, even the ones that are generational badasses, even the guys that are, peleoneros, nobody fucks with them. Even the girls that are real badasses and nobody even looks at them. All of y'all tried coming for me, right? And I dealt with all of y'all, right? And even your family members that tried to do it, right? But
right.
By that time, I realized, Vanessa, if you sit and listen to all the criticism of the area around you, then your soul will break. It'll bruise.
Silent Meadow. Yes, you're partially correct. The poorest country in the U.S. is typically identified as Holmes County, Mississippi, along with the Appalachian area. That is technically and actually and factually those two there considered the economically most depressed.
And you will never have any hope, ever. It took me a little while, but it happened. And I finally accepted the fact that I live in an area in the country that's most reluctant to change. And if I can make it here, I can make it anywhere. Literally, it sounds like New York. If I can make it here, I can make it anywhere. And what my haters...
Actually, that's not true. Because if you think you can make it here, and then you go somewhere else and try to be like this, you'll get eaten alive. It's more like if you can make it big in New York, Houston, Dallas, LA, Chicago, Florida, Miami, Orlando, if you can make it big in a big place, and then you can make it big maybe, in any smaller community. It's not the other way around.
Are now starting to realize, and all of you haters in Raymondville, I promise you this, because even some of my haters from outside of the valley, they even came to join forces. Remember this year? They came from Donna and other places to join forces with the haters from here. George Rice, all of them. They all were like, ooh, they hate her in her hometown. Let's go join forces. And look at where it always wound up. Wah, wah, wah.
Join forces. She's still saying that now. People are in alliance with each other to hate against me.
Every single time, it never worked out for them. So, with all of that, I saw, Vanessa, this is the worst hate you're going to get. No one is going to hate you as much as this. So, if you try for an elected seat that includes people outside of Willacy, that's hate that is even easier to manage. If you try to get a seat that includes Nueces County all the way up until San Antonio, guess what? That same hate matters even less. Now, say I want to get a seat where half the state can vote for me. Guess what? All of that hate, all of those stories matters even less. Now, what if I run for a seat where all of Texas can vote for me? Guess what? All of this stuff that all of these haters tried to bring up from Willacy County, all of the Frank Mars before and after him, all of that stuff is going to matter even less. Even less. I'm lucky because I was born in one of the most hateful areas of the nation, too. It is. It is. If they love you, they'll love you. They'll love you. But if they hate you, they will show you so much hate until you become so well known that the majority start to not hate you. And the ones that hate you start to become the minority. And so where you came from, your original haters, then are going to look really, really foolish when they realize, damn, we're the only ones that hate this chick that much.
Little did she know she would, in the future, enjoy and love being hated. Yes.
Everywhere she goes, she makes friends. Everywhere she goes, people like her. Yeah. That's what happens when you try to hate on somebody that's the real thing. That's what happens when you try to hate on somebody that doesn't make the kind of choices that you think are going to ruin her life. Yeah, for real. That's why you have people that hate me so bad that they wanted you to believe that I was that beautiful, beautiful, voluptuous female with the cowgirl hat, and she was dancing and drinking. They wanted so bad for you to see me in the most undesirable way. That's why Frank Marr, my new bully here, he wants to make me look as leastly desirable as possible. And it's not working for him, and it bothers him greatly. Pero ¿dónde estás, Frank?
It didn't bother him. Frank wasn't bothered by any of this stuff.
But remember, Frank, I haven't done my video on you yet. This is just a live video here on Willisy Unchained. You watch and you wait. You see, I see some of my hello haters. I see some of you haters. I see some of you haters. I'm not even going to say your name. One of you haters is from Donna. I see you right now and you're watching right now. I'm not going to say your name. But you saw the comments that I made on Frank's page. I screenshot every single thing that I ever made on that page. First of all, to prove to people if he deletes my comments. But second of all, to prove to all of you haters how it's always going to turn out for you all the time. So let's say, for instance, the very first time I started off this, let's say that we have hater A and B. Those were my first two haters. Then all of a sudden, 2 years later happens, and you know, my grass thing or my boyfriend gets arrested in the driveway, whatever it is. All right, now I have a whole new set of haters. Now I have A, B, C, D, E. Now I have C, D, E hater, right? And then all those haters, they all get together whenever they think, ooh, finally we got her, right?
A lesson in hate. Take notes, people. Take notes.
Right? And it never turns out good for them, ever, ever, ever. And you, hater from Donna, that I see right now, and I know you're watching because I see your face right here watching. You're one of those. You're one of those. You went to the Willisy Chisme page. Nada que ver. You don't have nothing to do there. But you did it to try to align with my local trolls. Then you came over here to the Willisy Unchained page. Nada que ver. Nada que ver. But still, you want to do it to align with my own trolls. Now, all of y'all rubbed your mitts just like George Rice. And George, I know you're watching this too. Because again, you're one of the haters, just like all the ones that I mentioned right now. Well, the hater that's watching right now, the one from Donna, the one that went to the Raymondville Chisme, you know, nada que ver. Then the Willisy Unchained, you know, nada que ver, just because she's a hater. And then George Rice, all of them, and then the ones from Raymondville, they all got together, and now they went over there to the hater in Brownsville. How's that turning out for all of y'all?
They all got together. They all went to Chili's and had a meeting, had a rally, like the Klan, and they got together. And none of that happened. None of that happened.
For real. It's going to turn out the same way every single time.
And George Rice is a good guy. Good man, good family man, also a military veteran. And he did not watch her all the time because people would send him stuff. Or, you know, he would watch when they said, oh, you got to hear this, or oh, you got to hear this. But he didn't watch her to watch her.
The same way. Every single time. And I've already told you guys I've been writing my book. So whenever one of you turns out to be one of an entire chapter dedicated to you as a bully, and when your grandkids grow up and say, Grandma, did you really do that to that girl? Well, damn right your grandma did that. Because if she didn't, then she would have sued me. Your grandma's not going to sue me because your grandma was that bully. No, but my grandma did all these great things in her life. Oh, she could have done all those great things in her life, but she also proved herself to be a bully. And guess what? It's in a book that's going to be there forever.
Wow, so she started writing this book back in 2019. 6 years later, where's the book? Where's the book? Where's the book?
And I'm never going to change it. So if you guys want to keep on acting the way that you're acting, just remember, you're the one that's choosing to be labeled for the rest of your life as one of those folks. One of those folks. Seriously, for real. For real. I can't wait to run for an elected seat that includes Austin and beyond. And all of you in Raymondville and the few of you in the Valley. But all of you in Raymondville. All of you in Raymondville that are hating it, that are just waiting for my downfall, you're going to be disappointed. You are. You're going to be disappointed. You are. especially because the efforts that I make are not to get famous and have riches and, you know, have money galore and this and that. You're going to be disappointed because I'm somebody in this life that fights to be the best for the people. We the people. That's not a glamorous thing to do. People are going to make fun of me till the day that I die. They're going to make memes and cartoons and everything. But if I'm making legislation that helps the struggles of Americans and helps their lives, you know, gives them a better pursuit of happiness, you know what? That's all that matters. And all my haters, they can watch me. They can watch my rise. Even while they're hoping and clapping for my downfall, they can just watch me rise. They can watch me and we the people rise. ¿Qué más quieres, Frank? A ver, ¿qué vas a hacer? I'll be waiting for you, Frank. Whatever it is, I promise you. Anything that you bring up is something that these people in Willacy County already brought up. And I promise you, the minute that you bring it up on your page, that you're either going to get backlash or something else negative is going to happen to you, depending how far you want to cross the line. But yeah, again, this is me, Vanessa Tijerina, letting you know, Frank, that the skill set that you claim to have, your little IT stuff, none of that means anything because you are a poor public speaker, okay? It looks like you hide behind your glasses, too. You don't even photograph well at all. And you know that I am not, I don't know. You know that if I can be photogenic. That's the best that I'm going to say. That's why you chose one of the ugliest pictures that there is out me on the internet. That's why, Frank. That's because I have tons of pictures on my Facebook. Tons of pictures. But you wanted to choose a picture that made me look real, you know, not so pretty. Not so pretty, right? Right? But that's what you have to do. You're a weak man. And you know what's so? You're a weak man in a man's world. Qué vergüenza. Qué vergüenza. You know, it's not such a bad thing to be a weak woman in a man's world because honestly, it's a man's world, right? It's a man's world. But you, eres hombre. You're a man. And even...
God, so you get tired of listening to this. Take a break. Come up for air. Relax.
in a man's world, you're a weak man in a man's world. Yeah, you are. You are. So I'm gonna wait and see whatever it is that you're gonna think that you can come and bring at me, Frank. But just remember, I promise you, a lot of people, they want to ignore the words that I'm about to say. I promise you, my offense will always be better than your defense. My defense will always be better than your offense. Always, Frank. Always. That's why the traffic that you got on your page, it was all for me. It was all about me. Ask all my haters that are feeding you all this information. I know exactly which haters they are from Raymondville. Ask Wolf Chapa. Ask him. Every single page that was created to hate me, the minute that their content, nobody...
5 minutes left. 5 or 6 minutes left on this one.
They didn't have... That's it. Their pages died. There was nothing. No kind of funny memes, sharing, nothing like that. No bringing up the weather, talking about sports, showing your food pictures. None of that is going to revive that page. The minute that the Tijerina content dies, the page dies. What does that tell you, Frank? What does that tell you? What does it tell you that you got almost 1,800 new likes because of me? But you did not get 1,800 likes on your hate post of me. No, you didn't. That should show you. People are going to look, but they're not going to agree with you. And they're waiting. They're just waiting for you to just cross the line. You just wait and see. You banned me from your page because I was doing such a good job defending myself on your page. That's why you banned me. That's why. And everybody knows that that's why. All they have to do is go look at your page. That's it. That's why you held me ransom. Sin vergüenza. You held me ransom. You said on one of your posts, it says, I will unban her if I get 100 likes. Ew, that is so creepy. That is so creepy. That is gross, Frank. That is like taking someone hostage. A lot of the moves that you've made could be considered psychotic or having some kind of pathological thing connected socially.
That's funny. Her calling other people psychotic.
I think that you are a loose cannon, and I wouldn't be surprised if one day you're involved in a crime against a female. Because I think that you have a really hard time with really strong females. And somebody told me that you're not from the Rio Grande Valley, and I can tell right away. Your behavior and the way that you act and this and that, it shows that you're not really one of us. You really are kind of like an outsider, because you don't even behave like one of us, like at all. You really don't.
Thank God for that.
So where are you, Frank?
Hey, Jennifer.
I don't see you. Like, I'm already, I've been talking and talking. No que tú y que Frank Mar, que esto, and IT, no chisme page and this and that. Pero nada que el dude can go live. Nada. None of that, right? None of that. You have to get all your stuff together. You're probably rushing home right now to get your little video together. You probably want to set up and get your earphones and all. I don't need none of that, Frank. I don't need none of that. I'm effective just the way that I am. You see, that's the difference between me and you.
She's defective? Is that what she said? Oh, effective. Okay. Honest mistake.
That's the difference between me and you. The reason that I say you're jealous of me is because me and you started coming out after public corruption 4 years ago. And you wanted me to make a page with you, and I wasn't going to. You wanted to go against Erasmo Cosmo's Chisme page in Brownsville. That was actually the very first Chisme page in all of the entire valley. You did not like that you were in IT, and this guy, Erasmo Castro, that does not have your background, was mongering hate, that he was getting a lot of attention. And so what you wanted to do was you sought to go after him. But it was easy, because he made himself an easy target, because he was not a really good person in a lot of ways, right? Not me, Frank. Not me. I'm not Erasmo Castro. I'm not. So you wanted so bad to get you exploited, and you were like, ooh, Erasmo Castro is so bad that I'm gonna make my own Chisme page that says
Didn't
no
all this
more
start
chisme.
because there was a
But
lovers
now,
quarrel between
it's the chisme.
Oh, really?
Chisme's all over your page.
Really?
Now I'm a target of your chisme. Now you have turned into the exact
Oh my
same
goodness, is
monster
that true?
that you were fighting in the very beginning. You turned into that.
I'd heard that one before.
Exactly that. That's what you turned into. And so then you got upset that there was a guy that had a Facebook page that had all this content and did not have the IT background you had. And then you saw that there was a girl, me, that was also getting a lot of attention and also pushing against corruption. And she was doing it with her own face, not hiding or anything. You're jealous, Frank. You're jealous. You're jealous that there's people that are stars in their own right on social media, while you, with an IT degree, struggle to be just as relevant as people where this comes naturally to them. If I were you, if I were the kind of man that you are, living in the days that we're living today, my fragility, my male fragility, would be triggered in all kinds of ways. So I understand, Frank. I understand why your male fragility is triggered. And I understand how somebody like me, a strong female like me, a strong alpha like me, I understand now. It took me a long time. But I understand now that by just being me, by just being me, sometimes I don't even have to talk. But the minute that I talk, it happens. That by just being me, simply existing, it makes some men feel less than men. Isn't that interesting? I'm going to say it again, Frank. There are women like me
Say
that
3 times.
exist. We don't even have to be doing anything bad. All we have to be is good at whatever we're good at. And there's always going to be men like you that don't feel like a man because the strong woman that you're seeing before you, or that you have now focused on, is probably a better man than you'll ever be. And that's true. Bye, Frank. Querías. And you told me agárrate. Agárrate on your page. No, chiquito. Tú. Agárrate conmigo. For real. Bye.
Jeez. We have a 1-minute intermission before getting onto this next short video clip, which is great. Yeah, I got it here. Yes. It's only a minute and a half. All right, you ready? You ready? And let me turn this down.
That's like some buns of steel. I did some buns of steel.
Buns of steel, my ass.
I don't care what anybody says.
Buns
The
of fucking
steel
flab.
from the 80s.
Jesus Christ, you walk, it's like motion in the fucking ocean. It's a goddamn tidal wave. But that's what you want. You said you want a guy that likes a little wiggle and jiggle in the butt. You do not have buns of steel, you lying fucking hoe. Jesus Christ on a fucking crutch. Holy shit.
Oh, shit.
I mean, I get when you have like so much weight, you have so much fat and cellulite. You know, you can poke that ass, and it won't even like give you a little wave. I mean, it's just going to be poke. Okay, but that's still not buns of steel, even though that ass doesn't move. That's not buns of steel. That might be the situation your ass is in right now, girl. No buns of steel, okay?
It costs that to get some fresh air. One more time.
That's like some buns of steel. I did some buns of steel.
Buns of steel, my ass.
I don't care what anybody says.
Buns of fucking flab.
From the 80s.
Jesus Christ, you walk, it's like motion in the fucking ocean. It's a goddamn tidal wave. But that's what you want. You said you want a guy that likes a little wiggle and jiggle in the butt. You do not have buns of steel, you lying fucking hoe. Jesus Christ on a fucking crutch.
That was so funny.
Holy shit.
Oh, shit.
I mean, I get when you have like so much weight, you have so much fat and cellulite. You know, you can poke that ass, and it won't even like give you a little wave. I mean, it's just going to be poke. Okay, but that's still not buns of steel, even though that ass doesn't move. That's not buns of steel. That might be the situation your ass is in right now, girl. No buns of steel, okay?
It costs that to get some fresh air. Oh my God, that was good. Vintage. Oh my goodness. So let's get to the. Let's get up to speed with more recent, very recent video. Do you guys want to see the interview when she was on Real Politics? This is from 2020, October of 2020. If you want to watch it, we don't have to, watch the whole thing straight, but if you want, if not, we can just get to the one. Hey, Ariana, what up? If you want to watch it, a little bit of it, this was. I was with that page called Real Politics, and she was running for something. I don't remember what it is. It's not important. And we had other candidates, so we invited her, and we got so much hate for just inviting her, just for giving her, the equal time like the other candidates got. And we got so much freaking hate messages and you guys suck and all. I mean, it was, I don't know. I want to say it was about 2 weeks. We gave people 2 weeks notice and it was horrible. It was, I mean, not horrible, but the reaction from people was so bizarre. I thought they would want to hear what she's got to say. But they were like, oh, man, forget this. I'm not going to watch. And, of course, everybody watched. So we'll play some of that. That's from October 6, 2020. It was right around the time when Eddie Van Halen passed away. That's how long ago this was. So we'll do a little bit of this before we get to... And incidentally... this was her flyer. That picture of her, that was her flyer, her political flyer. I think she only had one flyer because she always had it in her hand and she took it everywhere. And it was, as time went on, that flyer got more wrinkled and wrinkled. And I put that music on. It was in honor of Eddie Van Halen. Let me skip past this and get to the point.
Man, just see Zach, so you know. Probably good.
Hold on, I'm sharing the link right now, you guys.
All right, it's going to come up here in a second. And I wasn't so involved, politically speaking. I was more of a producer, handling the effects and comments and, messages, stuff like that. All right, come on.
Hey guys. Manny, what was that for?
That's in honor of Eddie Van Halen, who passed away today.
What is up with the audio?
Nope. Gotta lower the volume, somebody.
Hey guys. Manny, what was
Yeah, hang on. There was some feedback. Somebody had their audio on to me. Kind of nasty sounding.
that?
Nope, somebody's got their speaker on.
Hi,
Lower the volume, somebody.
Vanessa, can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Okay, you might want to lower your volume because there's like a feedback there.
In honor of Eddie Van Halen. Yeah, it was a little sloppy, I admit.
It's probably yours. Yeah.
I lowered it.
You won't be able to watch Facebook while we do the live. It's very sensitive that way. Awesome. Back there. Okay. Did it go away already?
It's probably yours.
Hold on, I'm sharing the link right now, you guys.
You won't be able to watch.
Oh man, that was a nasty noise. God, I don't like it. Let me. I think somebody finally figures out who had the speaker on.
Go away already.
It's probably yours.
Hold on, I'm sharing the link right now, you guys.
I can't remember who had it on. I think it was Josh.
You can get rid of Facebook that you're watching. You don't have to be on it. You'll just watch whatever we have on our screen, whatever you look at, and that way,
Okay, so
like that, that'll be good.
Again, I was just kind of putting things together. Josh was like a color man. He was very involved in politics. And then Roman was, in effect, this was his page. But he was not good with the technical stuff. So he asked me to, hey, come do this with me. And we're going to go live all the time and we'll do this. This was during COVID. And I had no idea about any of this stuff either. And little did I know, once I did start to speak up, I couldn't shut me up. But then he and I had a falling out. We can get into that later. And then I created my own page in November of 2020. All right.
Hey guys. Sorry for the musical interlude. Manny wanted to play that. We had originally planned a completely different music. Hey Myra, what's going on? But Manny decided he wanted to play that. Yeah, well, we actually, Manny, just so Zach, so you know, we've been using YouTube as we stream our YouTube, and YouTube seems to be fair with us. And we're not using it completely, and we don't own the rights to it, but we're using specifically YouTube music within this particular thing. Hey, Indiana. Guys, welcome. This is Real Politics Live. It's a little bit later than we had planned. Hey, Cameron County Conservatives. We are joined with us today is Vanessa Tijadina. She is a candidate for Texas Senate District 27. Hey, Vanessa, how are you doing?
Good. Thank you for having me on here, gentlemen. Thank you, Roman.
Awesome.
Thank you, Manny.
And right above me is a guy by the name of Josh Peltier. He is with the Cameron County Republican, Cameron County Conservatives Facebook page and group, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, cool. Anything happening in Brownsville today? Because I saw a lot of pictures of some stuff happening in Brownsville. What's going on in Brownsville, man? Josh?
A billboard went up supporting our president, and a lot of people are happy about it, and some not so much. So we'll see what happens.
I heard these vicious rumors that some people that are being triggered by this thing have called the city. And they have been upset, and they want it taken down. Am I right on that, Josh? Is that true? The rumor that I heard?
That's possible. That could be the word down on Elizabeth Street. So we'll see what happens.
Well, I don't know why they'd even be watching that billboard. They should be home, staying at home, not in this pandemic. It's supposed to be taken seriously. Like that's what we keep being told. So don't go out there and get triggered and watch the video. Watch the billboard. Hey, Manny, how you doing, Manny? Manny's Manny Station.
Man, we're taking care of the controls. Good point. Who said that? Kiki. Great comment. Looks like the nightmare before Christmas. This was actually, this is October of 2020, and Christmas Eve coming up the month after is when she had her little incident where she got beat up. So just so you can get that timeline, right? Trying to keep things on the down low and nice and smooth and calm. It's going to be a great night.
Yeah.
The questions ready, and we're just going to go with the flow and have a nice show.
Yeah, just so you all know, guys, Manny is in charge of the Manny Station. He does the comments. So the comments that you see behind on the screen, those are coming either from Facebook or from YouTube. So please like our YouTube channel, subscribe to our channel. We would appreciate it. Please also like our Real Politics Facebook page. We would appreciate it. Share our stream. What we've been doing since August is interviewing candidates and office holders that are potentially on the ballot in November from now until the election to help you all out, because we do not want you all going out in public during this pandemic. And so that's what we've been doing. So that's why we have Vanessa on. Vanessa, please tell me who you are. First question out of the bat, tell me who you are, why you're running. Give us a minute or two of who you are.
My name is Vanessa Tijerina, and first of all, I want to tell all of my followers to please share this right now. These are the moments that we've been waiting for, you guys. So please share the heck out of this right now. Thank you. So my name is Vanessa Tijerina, and I'm a 9th generation Texan. I've been a nurse for over 20 years. I'm a mom of 4 children. And I got political about 5 years ago. Before that, I would vote, I would care about the issues, I would raise awareness to the issues. But about 5 years ago, I identified really deep-seated systemic corruption in every single level of government that matters here in the Rio Grande Valley. And when I started to get my story out there, other people also confirmed their situations as well. During that time, there was also a special education nightmare that was forming. Mr. Rosenthal from the Houston Chronicle was the one that broke that story out. So
just so you know, guys, Vanessa and her minions are watching. She's reactivated, and she's already put stuff out telling people to go report my page. That's what she's doing right now as we reminisce down memory lane.
in that time, I was trying to get special ed for my child. So I was just a mom and a nurse at this time. And then I was suddenly forced to become political because nobody was addressing the issue of corruption. Nobody was giving the necessary level of oversight over all the agencies that were failing people. And obviously, it happened under Senator Lucio's watch, the special education issue. It was so bad that I had to petition the State Board of Education. And then I petitioned the U.S. Board of Education after the State Board of Education ignored the whole problem. And Senator Lucio is not only the senator, basically the highest level of power in the Senate District 27, where all of this was happening, he was the chairman of special education. So he was in a position to address corruption, and he was in a position to address the special education issue, and he failed to do both. So what do? What are you always taught in government? What do they tell you? If they're not doing the job for you, then you run. That's what I'm doing.
The first thing that we wanted to do today is look at people's campaign finance reports. And the reason we look at campaign finance reports is they were due yesterday. Those of you who are not familiar with Texas law when it comes to campaign finance reports, you have to turn them in whether you're a candidate or an office holder, or even if you lose and you still have money, you have to turn it in. And so you usually turn it in semi-annually, but when there's an election season or you're on the ballot, or you're involved in some sort of PAC, you have to turn it in 30 days before an election and 8 days before an election. So I want to show everybody here where you can look at campaign finance reports, not just to, they're going to maybe mute the music, not right now. So don't worry, Zach, calm down, slow down. Anyway, what we'll do is show you where you can look at Vanessa Tijerina's campaign finance reports, Eddie Lucio's campaign finance report. Anybody that's running for state is on the Texas Ethics Commission. So Manny, you can pull up Google. So you can Google. I just want to show everybody where we can look to help you all out.
You want me to go through the beginning?
Yeah.
This is what got her triggered.
Yeah, please. Sorry. So what he'll do is you're going to search, so you can know, you go to Google and you Google Texas Ethics Commission, Texas Ethics Commission. And when you click on that, are you there, man?
Yeah.
Cool. You just Google Texas Ethics Commission. That's what he did. And you'll get a little thing that says search campaign finance report. You click on that. And when you go down, scroll down just a little bit, you're going to see a simple searches return full report. You click on that and that'll give you that. And then you can decide what you want to search. You can search filer name. You can search treasurer's name, report number, filer ID, committee acronym. In this case, we're going to search by filer name. Okay, click filer name. And just to be fair, we're going to look at your opponents just so we can show his real quick. Type in Lucio. You put Lucio last name or whatever. Manny, you might want to take off the tag like Zach completely off so people can see the screen.
Yep.
Thank you. And there's actually 2 Eddie Lucios. The lower number is the junior, and the higher number is Eddie Lucio III. So you'll click on the second one to click. Let's say you want to look at Senator Lucio's campaign finance report.
Okay, let me get out and go back to that page now.
Yeah, this is a weird thing with StreamYard, guys, so I apologize, but you have to get like certain permissions when you go from one page to another. It's not us. So you're going to look at this. And so this is the one that he just turned in that was due yesterday. And he turns it in. If you click on the upper right-hand side, you'll see like little play button. It'll take you to all his other ones. And so whatever he's turning, he has like 48 slides of this stuff. So if you go back to the first page, Manny, just go back. Thank you. You'll see that he raised contributions of $86,000. That's between July 15th or July 1st when it was, June 30th. Am I right on that? The covering period? Oh, there you go. July 5th.
July 5th, yeah.
Up to September 24th, he raised $86,000, and then he spent an additional $300,000. He literally has no money on hand in this race. And he has an outstanding loan of $34,557. Cool. That is what he has in his race. And what you can do is you click on the PDF data. We're not going to do that right now. You can click on a PDF data on the bottom. That will give you the PDF actual file. And you can go through it all you want to. And you go up to the other one, it'll give you the CSV file. And you can put in like an Excel sheet or whatever. And you can go through and investigate who's giving Edilisu money. And if you go to the play button on the, it'll take you to the other one. You can do the same thing. So we're going to look at Vanessa's campaign finance report just so everybody can see hers and say that we're looking at hers.
Okay.
That's a lot of money, guys. $86,000 to raise is a lot of money. Not necessarily in a state senate race. You also have the issue of he's spending $300,000 in the race. It's a lot of money. Ready? We're going to look at Vanessa's. That's what pops up for Vanessa. Vanessa, care to explain? I don't want to put you on the spot, but you only have July 15. The one that was due yesterday, you did not turn it in. Am I right on that?
I missed it. I missed it.
But you'll be turning it in today, hopefully by midnight, and then you'll have it. Yeah. Just so everybody knows. Yeah.
Zero expenditures. So
Zero expenditures. Okay.
There's nothing out there.
Okay, and you had no raised money, no expenditures between, I guess the last filing for that period was February 4th? Zero. Okay, and if you want to, you can look at the other one, Manny, real quick, the second page, so she can see that, she did pay a filing fee to get on the ballot. And right there, that is the summary on itemized expenditure. That is for a filing fee.
If I'm not mistaken, somebody paid that for her. That did not come out of her own pocket.
So in order to run as a Republican, Vanessa, you decided to pay your filing fee. Is there a particular reason why you went that route as opposed to doing a signature?
I thought that signatures were things that was an option that people did when they didn't have the money to do it. And so this seat was really important to me. And there was no way. I know the problem with signatures is that if they're not registered voters, if they can find any reason, it's easier for them to disqualify you from the ballot when you go the signature route. There's so many more things that could happen. And once I pay the fee, it's like, there's nothing they can do about it. My name's there.
And just so everybody knows, if you ever see somebody that didn't turn in a campaign finance report, usually what the Ethics Commission will do is they will fine a person and consider them a delinquent filer. And you can actually go into the campaign finance, into the Ethics Commission page, look at the delinquent filers, and you're going to find there is a lot of people that don't turn in their campaign finance reports and owe money to the Ethics Commission. I highly recommend you, Vanessa, and any candidate that didn't turn in their campaign finance report on time to please turn it in as quickly as possible so that we can have transparency.
Yeah, I'm getting some messages that they want to see hers, and it's like, that's hers right there. We're showing it right now.
Okay, if you want to, Manny, click on the PDF file so you can actually see that one if you wanted to, and you can see what it is.
Page not found. This one has got nothing in there.
Oh, really?
Click to a dead page. No page there.
The dead page. Well, that's what that
That's
information is. So feel free to look at it on your own time, guys. I just quickly wanted to look at this because yesterday we spent time looking at campaign finance reports at BISD. In the coming days, we'll do the same thing with other candidates and go through them one by one and enjoy that. But I wanted to get to the next question. Manny, I think you had a question that you wanted to ask, either you or Josh.
No, Josh, you can go ahead first, please.
Okay. So, Ms. Tejerina, I believe in political parties should have a big tent policy. You've chosen to run as a Republican, which is a center-right party. you are a liberal or progressive, as you have run as a Green Party and Democrat Party candidate in the past. Your Facebook page has many prominent Democrats like Bernie Sanders and Robert Francis O'Rourke. Is this strategic by you to show that you would be bipartisan, or would you strictly work with Democrats to undermine the Republican Party's agenda if you're elected to the Senate?
First of all, the Democrats were the ones that did these badly behaving things to my life. I don't have no loyalty to the Democrats, but I don't have no loyalty to the Republican Party either. My loyalty is to the people and only to the people, which includes Republicans and Democrats and people that are not affiliated with either party. That's where my loyalty lies, period. Now, that just shows you that I'm an independent thinker. I was a Bernie type 5 years ago, and I've evolved a lot since then. So things that Bernie types do now, things that Bernie types say now, like defund the police, abolish ICE, things like that, that sounds outlandish to me. 5 years ago, that would have probably sounded a little bit, reasonable to me. Not anymore. I had to evolve, and I had to evolve quickly, and I understood that the Bernie types were not something that Texas was ready for. And so my loyalty doesn't lie with any one party. My loyalty lies to the people. And that only shows you that I'm an independent thinker. That's it. Parties were meant for one thing and one thing only. Let's remember that the ideology of the Democrats and the Republicans changes every couple of decades, okay? So we can't really say that they are fast and hard with their ideologies, right? And that goes to show everybody the parties don't matter but for one thing, and that is to put your name on the ballot. That's it.
Manny?
Can I do a quick follow-up question, Roman?
Oh yeah, Josh, go right ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Mine was in the.
Sorry, Manny. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Mine was
so,
in the same lines as Josh anyway.
Considering that if you're saying that you're an independent thinker, why not just run as an independent? Why pick a party to run with?
Because if I'm really going to do the maximum that I can do and potentiate my abilities in this seat, then of course I'm going to roll up my sleeves and into the party that's in power. Why am I going to fight the party that's in power? Why can't I become that party? So traditionally, we've had the Democrats that have been the party of the people. We've had all of this cognitive dissonance, and some of y'all may or may not have heard of that term that are watching. Dissonance means that your culture or something in your life made you start thinking a certain way, and you just adopted that as the status quo, as something that was true and real. And so all this time we've been thinking that the Democratic Party has been the party of the people, and the Republican Party has been the neglectful party. Truth be told, their legislation really probably doesn't take care of the people as much as the Democrats' legislation does. However, I think that we should have a Texas, where both parties work equally as well for the people, where one is not ousted as being the badly behaving party. What we need is that every party that wants to be involved in politics should be equally helping these people, not lagging or being so neglectful that one of them looks like they're behaving badly.
Vanessa, it's okay. When can you ask questions? You can ask your questions. Manny is in charge of them. In order to do it, we have our own questions that we're trying to get across first. But if you have a question that comes up, I will interrupt Vanessa if that's okay, Vanessa. That's how I handle things, and I'll ask that question, or at least allow Vanessa to finish her thought. Okay?
Yes, allow me to finish my thought.
Awesome. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Myra. Manny, did you have a question? Your question?
No, you can go ahead. I'll check in with you later. Josh kind of was in the same line as I was. So.
Okay, awesome. If elected, Vanessa, what would be the first legislation you would file? Because you have to file your bills almost immediately when you're elected.
The first thing that I would work on is, first of all, I'd want to have a town hall kind of discussion with my constituents, and I want to get a connection with them. I would want to ask everybody in District 27, figure out a way to ask them, whether it's town hall meetings, virtually is probably going to have to be that. Then I want to know what are their top three most pressing issues. Those are the issues that I'm going to address. Those are the issues.
The reason
I don't know what those are yet because I have not polled the people.
Well,
I'm not the kind of senator that just goes in there and does whatever she wants.
yeah, well, the thing is that when you're running as a candidate, not to interrupt you, but when you're running, you usually have issues you want to run on. Usually you have an idea of what you want to do. Unfortunately, the way the Texas Senate works, you almost have to immediately turn in your bills, or if not, your bills will be put forth in a calendar committee, get lost, and the issues for SC 27 won't be heard, which is why I'm asking, is there anything in particular that you would put forward immediately, not because of who we are as an SD, but what you feel is important? Is there,
let me know when I can answer.
Okay. I just think special needs is something that you've talked about. I would assume that would be maybe an issue that you would put forth. Would that be considered by you as a bill?
The special needs situation is supposedly already being taken care of. Okay. I can't tell y'all that I'm going to file a bill on there until I see what bills are going to be filed by the senators and state reps and people that are already taking care of the issue. So I would love to do that, but apparently, remember, when the United States Board of Education told our Governor Abbott, you need to implement a corrective action plan, Abbott implemented a corrective action plan. Many of us many educators and many parents and advocates of students with special needs in Texas realized that it was a failure and it wasn't enough. And so obviously we should have some state reps and state senators already working on that. So if there has been no bill filed to address that, that's what I would do first.
If elected, what cities do you think you would put a district office in? Usually a state district office will have about 3, depending on the size of the senatorial district. And so where do you think you would put your campaign, not your campaign, but your district offices to help represent the people of SC 27?
One needs to be in Willacy County, and it needs to be more productive than anything anybody's ever seen. Willacy County is so far removed and so rural, and I think that's why some people in power behave the way that they behave. So the closer that we are to the capital, the more people tend to behave. The farther away we are, the more badly behaving the government seems to be. That's why you have problems in East Texas and South Texas. And so, I'm sorry, West Texas and South Texas. And so if you can bring a semblance to the party, you know, a semblance of a presence to the areas that need it the most, that would be one of them, would be Willacy County.
So one would be Willacy County. What would the other 2 be?
Brownsville and Westerville.
Okay.
Sorry.
So you would
Sorry, I was muted. All I did was read that thing read that comment.
not have anything in Kingsville, because I think right now St. Lucia has something in Kingsville, in Claiborne County.
If that's the case, then I'd have one in Kingsville and only have one in the Mid-Valley and not in Brownsville.
Okay, makes sense. Just so everybody knows, SC 27 represents Claiborne County, Kennedy County, Willacy County, all of Cameron County, and about 40% of Hidalgo County. Usually people consider Brownsville to be the seat of it because it's the largest city in the entire senatorial district, and it has about 200,000 people that live in there, and depending on what the next census is. So that's where we are. Manny, do you have another question?
Yeah, but
I'll keep going.
yeah.
Would you introduce legislation that would prohibit a concealed carry license holder from bringing their weapons in houses of worship?
Unless we suddenly start having, you know, issues that are greater than what we've already seen, then the issue with gun control for me is in the schools. Not so much.
I'm talking about houses of worship specifically because that was in the last legislative session.
Well,
and
I would put that to poll for my constituents. Whatever my constituents would want me to fight for, that's what I would fight for.
Okay. If you're wondering why I'm looking down, it's because I didn't save my things. I just put it on my phone, so I apologize. So you don't, at this point, you don't have a stance whether or not you would allow concealed license holders to be able to have a gun in their house of worship right now. That's
anything that's a very controversial situation. It's something that's when you are having to pick if it's something that's very controversial, then that needs to go.
Everything is controversial. That's
Not everything. Not everything.
well, the Second Amendment can be controversial. Abortion rights can be controversial.
Legislation to support school districts, and nobody's really going to say no to that in a big way. However, you want to talk about gun control, there's going to be an issue there.
Okay.
And that's going to be a little bit messier. So anything that's going to be a little bit messier, where you're going to have people on polar opposite sides, and they're going to be very passionate, that's going to need to be.
You don't want to take a stance on that issue. That's right. I respect that. I understand. I have no doubt if you're elected, you would bring your background, your perspective on how to vote or offer legislation in the state Senate. With that in mind, what is your religious faith or denomination, and do you believe it is part of who you are, and would that influence your legislation and votes as a state senator?
I subscribe to the teachings of Jesus, and I subscribe to parts of the Bible that are the most reasonable. I'm gonna be honest with you, and I think that there's some portions of the Bible that have controlled our lives to such a degree that we tend to not care about some of the issues that some people care about, simply because the indoctrination of the Bible in our lives. And so I have always followed the teachings of Jesus and the book of Romans. And the book of Romans to me is the most reasonable book out of all of the Bible.
But would it influence what you would do as a legislature?
It's not true that you have never been a registered nurse. Is it not true that you've never been a registered nurse, but a licensed vocational nurse? Follow-up question: did you not attempt to falsify your professional credentials on your biography found on multiple websites such as Just Facts, Vote Smart? Yeah, I think because he's saying that because she was listed as an RN, and that she's an LVN.
No, you're always supposed to separate church and state, so it would have absolutely no influence on anything that I would do.
You see, the reason I'm asking you this question is because you'll have people that are attorneys, you'll have people that are businessmen, and they bring that perspective in. And they allow that to determine how they potentially will vote, but you don't believe that a person's faith or where they come from. And many Republicans tend to be more center right, like Josh said, and so they would hope that their legislator would use their faith and their belief in God to help influence potentially their role as a legislator. You disagree?
I don't know why anybody would use religion when we know that we're supposed to separate religion and government.
Understood. Judge Amy Coney Barrett is considered to give the Supreme Court the majority, and making it more of a conservative court. And they expect her to potentially overturn Roe v. Wade. And what that would do is force each individual state under the terms of federalism and allow them states to, regulate abortion without Roe v. Wade being an issue because it'll be overturned. So if you're elected, if your term is a 2-year term or a 4-year term, depending on what straw you draw in the next legislature, would you, in fact, be completely 100% pro-abortion, pro-choice, or are there any limitations that you would impose on women in abortion?
I don't agree with late-term abortions, especially unless there is extenuating circumstances, literally very extenuating circumstances. I believe women's autonomous right to. You gonna let me answer the question?
Yeah, of course. Sorry, I wanted to make sure I understand.
No, that's okay. Go ahead. Go ahead and tell me.
No. I want to make sure you would be willing to encode that into law and support that.
Yeah, I do not agree with late-term abortion. However, it should be taken as a case-by-case basis, because if we put a blanket against late-term abortion, then there are people who will use that to their advantage to be able to say this is not an extenuating circumstance. So it needs to go by case-by-case basis. So, but I don't agree with that, and I don't think that that's another thing. That's a very controversial issue, and I would put that to polls. But you're asking me right now, and I'm going to tell you. And so there's a sticky situation with this because people in Texas don't want to fund abortions, and I can understand why. A lot of people don't want the government money to be funding abortions. However, we live in an area of the nation where a lot of the circumstances that we live require people to women make that kind of decision over their own bodies. So it's two parts. I agree with women being able to make that choice. However, I have an issue with people wanting their abortions to be paid by government funding.
Manny had a wanted.
Ladies and gentlemen, no, I just want to remind everybody we're talking to Vanessa Tijerina, Texas State congressional candidate. And
Senate
we are
candidate.
live, Senate candidate, I'm sorry. We are live on Facebook and YouTube. If everybody could please remember, you can share this to your friends. Anybody wants to get in on this. There are many, many comments coming in, so I'm trying to get all of them. Sometimes they skip pages, so I'm not removing or deleting anything intentionally. And the comments were going so fast. There were so many comments. You know, you guys have watched, very popular podcasts on YouTube when there's, 5,000 people, even 2,000 people watching, and the comments just, and that happened here. It just passes me up, so I'll try to get to everything there as we move along here.
Yeah, and they're still going to be on your questions and comments will still be there for her to potentially see afterwards. It's just whatever pops up on the screen. So apologies. Is there any particular?
I want to say something real quick.
Okay.
Yeah, because I see a lot of questions coming up here right now. Right?
Yeah, it's hard. I'm
not going to be answering no.
Oh, this is from Bonnie. They were at one point on good terms, and then they were not on good terms. Vanessa and her minions were able to get Bonnie fired from her job. Facts. Vanessa, you have viciously terrorized me, doxed me, harassed me, maliciously lied about me, bashed me and called my work, my clients, and you messaged my clients lies about me, and have been doing this for almost 5 years. I've never met you in any of my something there, get a life, leave me alone. But since they have made up and they're, I guess, I don't know if I call it friends, but they have, or at least Bonnie has buried the hatchet, so to speak. But yes, like we talked about before, she will do that. That's what they do. They dox you. They try to get you fired. They try to put you in a bad light with your employer just because you don't like what she's saying. If you are anything to Vanessa's contrary, she will call you a hater. No matter what it is. If you disagree with her, you ask her a question, which you may think it's an honest question. She will label you as a hater and, be in a hate page, lover, and all that crap.
No questions regarding nothing that doesn't have anything to do with direct functions of a senator. And I think that's the thing that I think some people thought that this was going to be just a free-for-all, and that's not what it's for.
And just so, and I'll not to defend you, Vanessa, but what I'm about and what this page is about, I told Vanessa I will not ask about her arrest, and I will not ask for her arrest because she has an obligation to be quiet as a defendant. And also, if you are massively against Vanessa, and I'm trying to be, impartial on this, you do not want her lawyers to be able to say, well, she did not get a fair trial because there was a poisoning of jury pool. So I believe in the Constitution and everybody has a right to due process. So I'm not going to ask about her arrest. I'm not going to ask about her family, her kids. There was a question earlier. I saw something about child support or something. I'm not asking those questions. I'm going to ask about issues that matter to me and to Manny and to Josh, because we're conservatives and we want to know who we want to vote for potentially in this particular race. I'm not endorsing Vanessa. Josh is not endorsing Vanessa. Manny's not endorsing Vanessa. Our page doesn't endorse people unless you hear it from my mouth whether I endorse somebody I do. I'm not sure that's a fair question to ask, quite frankly, Renee. But it'll be there for her if she wants to reply to it.
I want to just make it clear. Most of these are just very personal attacks. That's all it is. And I'm glad this is live, so that everybody, the voting majority that hasn't even become aware of this election, can see exactly what it is they need to vote for or vote against, depending on how they feel.
There was a fair question there. Where was the $5,000 that came in? What $5,000 are you talking about? Are you talking about the 12?
Did you guys see that question? That comment just flashed on the screen for a second. Yeah, I had to laugh.
Her arrest. I'm not going to ask about her family, her kids. There was a question earlier. I saw something about child support or something. I'm not asking those questions. I'm going to ask about issues that matter to me and to Manny and to Josh, because we're conservatives and we want to know who we want to vote for potentially in this particular race. I'm not endorsing Vanessa. Josh is not endorsing Vanessa. Manny's not endorsing Vanessa. Our page doesn't endorse people unless you hear it from my mouth whether I endorse something. I do. That's I'm not sure that's a fair question to ask, quite frankly, Renee. But it'll be there for her if she wants to reply to it. At some point.
I want to just make it clear. Most of these are just very personal attacks. That's all it is. And I'm glad this is live, so that everybody, the voting majority that hasn't even become aware of this election, can see exactly what it is they need to vote for or vote against, depending on how they feel.
Am I going to be considered hateful because I'm laughing at this comment right here? Yeah, I'm going to hell. Okay. Accepted.
There was a fair question there. Where was the $5,000 that came in?
What
$5,000 are you talking about? Are you talking about the $1,250 that was on our campaign finance report, Sylvia? If that's the case, that's a good question. I'm going to assume that's what you meant, that you meant the $1,250. Vanessa, the question is, where did that money come from?
What $5,000 are they talking about? There's been zero $5,000 amounts regarding my election.
Right. The campaign finance report said $250.
Are we taking questions from anonymous profiles?
No, it's a fair it's a question that came up. But I'm assuming she made a mistake and meant $1,250. Was your personal money?
Filing fee.
Yeah, $1,250, but she's asking where that came from.
What do you mean where that came from?
Is that your personal money? It's a really easy answer. Like if it was your personal money, it's your personal money. It's not a big deal.
It's personal money.
Yeah. Okay. Move on. You see, you can ask a question. This is a fair question. I was going to get to it, so you asked the question for me. Why do you think the Republicans don't stand behind you?
Because I'm not their good old girl. That's exactly one.
Last night, there was an individual that submitted a question to you, Manny, regarding this specifically. You mind sharing that particular question for us, Manny? Because that seemed to be from a conservative. I didn't vote in a Republican primary. I'm not a Republican. I'm a conservative first, and I voted in Democrat primary. But it seems to me that we got concerns from you about your candidacy, Vanessa, because they're afraid that you're not going to be able to work with Republicans if you're in the majority. You're just going to be, an independent-minded person and not work with the majority. And there's certain things that happen in the Texas State Senate. You have to vote to allow certain things to come to the floor. And if you're constantly in their thorn, the Republican Party won't be able to get their agenda on the floor and sort of basically filibuster. So the question to be, I think, is, would you be willing to work with Republicans if elected, even though they're not standing behind you in your election?
Oh, yeah, I have to. I'm not going to judge all the Republicans by a few badly behaving ones. Are you kidding? If that's the case, then we're just going to be just as bad as the worst of each party. I'm not going to be doing that. I became a Republican because the Republicans are also very aggressive, and they're the ones that are in power.
Right.
So anything that's working for the people, if it's Republican legislation and it's working, then we shouldn't change it.
Yeah, she didn't become a Republican. She just ran as a Republican.
All right. And that's going to take being able to work together. Now, this is very similar to the question that somebody was asking, Vanessa, how are you going to pass legislation if everybody's against you? Well, there's going to come a point in time where anything that I bring forth to be voted on, I promise you, gentlemen, I'm going to sound more reasonable, more logical, and more practical than anything that is coming at me in an oppositional way. After a few times that happens, the voters are going to see who the problem is. It's not the most reasonable, practical, and logical one. It's everybody else. And then their voters can take care of those people.
Vanessa.
The question from Monica Elizabeth Casas was, what does being a Republican mean to you exactly? Or how do you see it?
I just told y'all. I just answered that question. Parties are meant for one thing and one thing only. That's to put your name on the ballot. Period.
The Houston Chronicle reported earlier this year that IDEA Charter Public Schools spent $2 million on a luxury jet and $400,000 for San Antonio Spurs tickets. Some legislators issued and were very concerned and voiced their displeasure with the way tax dollars were spent by IDEA charter public schools. Would you be willing to draft legislation to shed light on all charter schools and how they do business, and what specifics would you support in that legislation?
First of all, I want to thank State Representative Chair Canales, because he's the one that raised most awareness to that situation. Listen, first of all, I'm not against charter schools for this reason. Charter schools would not have ever been created if public schools were doing the exact job keeping everybody happy the way that they're supposed to. Okay, we need to remember that. Now they're existent, and so now they're an entity that we have to deal with. Now you're going to be getting vouchers that could have gone to public school, and you're going to be getting them for your charter school. Are you using government funds for all of these exorbitant expenses? If our public school students are not even near making that kind of you have private jets for public school. All that money, if it's going to be spent that frivolously, that could be siphoned away to public schools to make them stronger. I have an issue with people having private jets. All of that was very necessary. And not only does legislation need to occur, but a congressional investigation needs to happen there.
President Trump.
Big question here.
I'll read this question. Amongst many credentials, Vanessa states that she has included but not limited to biologist, chemist, STEM candidate, nurse, paralegal, child abuse advocate, and special ed advocate. Can she provide the status of special ed education? Students, is there still an issue with students not receiving services? If so, is it more or less than $2.5 million? What is the remedy she plans to implement to sustain or maintain what she fixed? Or what will she do to continue fighting for this student population?
Perhaps, Lindsay Guyona, can we see that question again? That was a very long question.
Yeah.
Perhaps Ms. Guyona,
your face.
Yeah.
perhaps Lindsay Guyona tuned in just a little bit too late, but I already addressed this. The problem with special education, remember, in 2016, Rosenthal, the reporter from the Houston Chronicle, he's the one that exposed all of this happening. You can take it away now. Let me see. I'm writing this down so I won't forget. All right. So when it was brought up, and nobody was bringing it up to the State Board of Education, so me and my son were up there for a different reason, and we changed everything, what our plans there in the Capitol were going to do, we're going to be. And so then I went before the State Board of Education and I told them, for all of these reasons, y'all need to address this issue. They didn't listen. So for 3 months, I petitioned the U.S. Board of Education. Once they understood the issue, they made 5 different meetings in East Texas, West Texas, North Texas, South Texas, and Central Texas. The last meeting was right here in Edinburgh at Region 1. And they asked me if I could give the exact same testimony, word for word, that I gave before the State Board of Education to the U.S. Department of Education. And I did. Now, this is what happened 1 month later after I did that, and after all of us had all these 5 meetings all over the state of Texas. The U.S. Department of Education told Abbott, you must end this and you must implement a corrective action plan. Now, in speaking to many lawyers that are they are lawyers that advocate on behalf of parents and students who have been denied special education, even they understand that the problem has not been fixed. The problem has not been fixed at all to the degree necessary. Students are still being denied special education. They're being siphoned to something else. And 2.5 million special ed students that were denied special education was a number that was that you come up with, because in the Rosenthal report, it says that it was an average of 250,000 students every year for 10 years. 250,000 times 10 is 2.5 million. So if we know that it was 250,000, 2.5 million over 10 years, 250,000 every year, and the issue is not fixed, then it's reasonable to say that there are thousands and thousands and thousands of students who are still not receiving the education that they need.
Understood. My next question has to do with blocking on Facebook, but it's we've had an issue. I've been blocked on my Facebook by elected officials. We've had, particularly President Trump, there was a lawsuit involving President Trump blocking voters and Americans from being able to view his Twitter feed. So there was federal lawsuits, and it went into the federal courts, and federal courts have ruled that you cannot block people from your social media. So
you can if they're harassing you. I
they
get that. You
yeah,
can.
you are allowed to block them from your personal Facebook page. That's no doubt. But your public page, when you're an elected official, you cannot block or restrict because you're violating their potential. That's what the courts have ruled. I'm not saying you, Vanessa Tejeda, or me from my personal page blocking people. You're more than welcome to do that. But as an elected official in your government profile, in your public page, you're not supposed to. Would you be able right now to guarantee that you would not block or restrict voters from your public government pages?
I'm going to be following all the rules that are set out there and that are in place, and I will be fighting against any rules and amending any laws and legislation to make that kind of situation more comfortable for both the public person and the constituents.
So you're willing to
Yes, I'm going to follow the law. Of course I am.
So you're willing to do that. That's I understand that's your opinion, and you're allowed to do that. I don't necessarily agree with you, but that's just my personal opinion. I would hope that you would reconsider blocking.
Reconsider what?
Reconsider.
I just told you right now, I'm not going to be blocking anybody.
Okay, good. Oh, so you're not going to be blocking me. Okay, good.
That means that I'm not going to fight for legislation that allows public figures to be free from harassment and hate speech.
Yeah. No, and that's fair. I mean, but what I'm saying is your public government page, because there's been concerns. We got inundated with questions about this, and to be quite frank.
Do you see this comment right there? So part of it's in Spanish. That name, El Vergudo, is not actually a name. You know what? I'll let someone else explain that one to you.
When honest with you, I don't like the fact that my city commissioner has me blocked. It's ridiculous.
He shouldn't have blocked you. I mean, unless he blocked you from his government page.
Well, people block Roman because Roman's an asshole, and a lot of people don't like him. So a lot of people, it doesn't surprise me that a lot of people would block him, even though they shouldn't. But they did, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Let's just go there. That's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. I'm not offended. I'm not a snowflake or easily triggered. This is a question that came up earlier. Thanks for posting that one up. Why does she think sabotaging a real progressive candidate in Sarah Stapleton Barrera was a good idea when Vanessa Tejeda was trying to run as a progressive Republican and really has no chance of unseating Senator Eddie Luster Jr.?
Really?
Can I answer?
Yes.
Okay. First of all, if I had no chances, people wouldn't be on here trying to tell me I had no chances. They would just accept I had no chances. That's first of all. There's that. Second of all, Sarah Stapleton Barrera sabotaged herself. Okay. There was an article that came out in a very progressive newspaper in which they called her a Latina. She didn't, when it was brought to her attention and I brought it up to her attention, she ignored the issue. When you do that, and the only Latina that's running in the race, and you are a white woman that is culturally appropriating that Latina's image, you better be sure that Latina, if she's smart enough, she's going to have to get strategic in order to overcome that damage that you did.
So there was if I understood you correctly, and I didn't know about this. So you told me something I didn't know.
Let me get you the name of the article.
I'll believe you. I'll give you, and I have no doubt you're right. So you're saying that people were calling her Latina when in fact
yes, and I brought it to her attention. She saw it. She ignored it. And I brought it to the attention of the publication. They saw it, but they wanted Sarah so badly. They wanted her so badly. Why are people getting mad at things like this when this is strategy? This is strategy. Now remember, the Vanessa Tejeda was not sabotaging Sarah's campaign. The Vanessa Tejeda for 6 months, for all up until the very last primary election, 3 weeks before that, I was pushing for Sarah. My whole entire Facebook was pushing for Sarah. Me, I was the only one of the two females who was telling the whole Rio Grande Valley, hey, this is our chance to make history. My name's already there, and I'm a female. Let's do everything we can to get Sarah Stapleton Barrera to be the Democratic nominee standing.
Right.
And Sarah,
No,
didn't do
and
that. Sarah did not do that at all, not even a little bit.
right.
She only cared about Sarah.
Yeah.
So why is it a big deal when Vanessa only cares about Vanessa in her race?
No, I completely respect that, and you feel that she's culturally appropriating our Hispanic culture, or our Latino culture. You know, I respect you for believing that, and I'm.
So the bottom line is, this woman, Sarah Stapleton Barrera, is not Hispanic, but I don't know what to call it. She got that reputation, so to speak, and she never brushed it off. She just rolled with it, and it became attached to her, even though she's not Hispanic at all. She's married to someone who's Hispanic.
I'm actually very disappointed that Sarah did that. I am. Now, I will ask, this particular senatorial district has been gerrymandered to benefit a Democrat from being able to win. If this senatorial district were to include Nueces County, for example, I do not believe a Democrat would win this particular seat. If elected, what would you do to make this seat less gerrymandered and make it a 50-50 seat as opposed to a 60-40, 65-35 seat in favor of a Democrat?
The thing is, I don't agree. That means that I'd have to agree with what you're saying in order for me to even contemplate doing anything about that. And I think that
it's gerrymandered. I mean, there's no.
Well, if you consider Nueces County and you're saying Nueces County, if they're included, that means that Nueces County is likely going to be voting more Republican.
Yes, because the reason is because Cameron County is about 35-40% Republican, or can be, and has actually.
They never go out to vote. You see, no, I know I'm speaking to my followers out there. You see what Roman just said right now? That is exactly the reason that they're getting what it is they want, because the same people go out to vote. And he knows enough to say that if Nueces County enters the equation.
Right, because you would have to exclude the 80-20% part of Hidalgo County. And so if it were just Cameron County all the way up to Nueces County, you would more than likely get a Republican elected and not necessarily just constantly a Democrat. I'm not making this up, Vanessa.
No, I know you're not making it up. This is true. This is true. And the reason that this is true is because of the way that people usually go vote or not vote. That's why this is a true prediction. That's why this is reasonable for you to say.
Right. So I'm just but right now, when that other person was saying you have no chance, it's very highly unlikely. And I've told you, Vanessa, I've told everybody publicly, it's very, very unlikely a Republican wins this
Thanks
seat.
for the support, Roman.
No. It's not that I'm not supporting you and I'm not endorsing anybody. It's just very unlikely.
Faith in the voters.
No, it's not that I don't have faith in the voters. I understand how voting happens. I've been involved.
I understand the nature of how voting has been recently. The majority of voters never go out to vote.
And so what we're trying to do, just so you, thank you. We're trying to get people to like our page because of the fact that we're trying to have a conservative message. We're center-right people. The majority of the guests that we have, it's our center-right. We try to do that, but we welcome everybody. And just so you all know, we have invited Senator Lucio Manny. I think you tried inviting him to come on our show. I have personally invited Mr. Hinojosa's family, Gilberto Hinojosa, who is the state party chairman for the Democrat Party. I'm open to having anybody and everybody who wants to come on. So if you have candidates or friends that are running for office, Democrats, Independents, Green Party, or Republicans, they're more than welcome to use our platform and come on our show. We would appreciate it. So please like and share our Facebook page. We appreciate it. Josh, do you have another question? If not, I'm going to keep going because I have tons more questions to go.
Yeah, I got one. Ms. Tejerina, if elected, you would be a very junior senator, a rookie. Who in the state Senate right now would you say you most identify with? And would you be willing to reach out with them to help them guide you, since you would be a newbie to the Senate?
There's nobody like me at all. Not even close. There's not. Everybody in Senate right now is a lot like each other. Everybody. There's nobody that's going to be guiding me. I'm going to be doing this all on my own with my staff and just doing the best thing possible and being open and honest with all of the constituents so that they can see she's doing everything she can. She's not the problem. It's everybody else. That is another reason that I ran.
The next question I had was having to do with property tax relief. Last legislative session, property tax relief was a big issue. Some legislators wanted to go further by offsetting property tax cuts by increasing sales taxes. Would you introduce legislation that would increase sales taxes?
Hold on, somebody's asking a question. Yes, I would absolutely debate Lucio any day of the week. Yes. Will he debate me? He won't.
Senator Lucio wouldn't debate her because she doesn't qualify. You're talking about a lifelong politician, and he would scrub the floor with her. I know she likes to think that she would handle him, but it never happened. I mean, he wouldn't even waste his time.
And whether he chooses it or not, I'm
And he's a real nice guy. He's a very nice gentleman, nice man. But he just wouldn't waste his time.
ready for whatever. I'm ready for whatever. Yes, I would love to debate. There's nobody in Texas that I would not debate. How's that?
Yeah, I would really be. We would be willing to host a debate. Just so you, we'd be willing to host a debate. Anybody. I do hope that there would be a forum. It's a shame that there isn't a forum for you all to debate each other. But my question about sales taxes: would you be willing to increase sales taxes in the form of legislation or not?
Only as a last resort. Only as a last resort. Which is the reason that one of my main things on my platform, one of the biggest things, which includes job creation, which includes more justice and more addressing institutional racism, has to do with the decriminalization of the cannabis industry and the decriminalization of marijuana. So all of that money that could have been going, all of that money from marijuana sales in the hemp industry can absolutely have lawmakers be digging into that instead of having a nickel and dime all these people for the property tax and sales tax. The thing is, they're not creating new ways of creating money and making revenue. And if you continue to do that, you have gaming industry. There's an A-liner gaming industry. We are the size of 5 average states. If they wanted to take the game lining industry and actually do the right thing by those laws, then we could create an entirely new industry. But nobody wants to do that because you got a lot of lobbyists that are coming over here to Texas and talking to a lot of people in Congress and lawmakers saying, you know, please don't legalize gambling in Texas because you're going to take all the money away from the surrounding states that are actually making money off of it right now. So then Texans are the ones that are without the ability to create new revenue under those circumstances.
Yeah, and that's funny. That was my next question I was going to ask you. Do you support the legalization of marijuana or gambling or both?
Absolutely. And this is the problem that I have with Senator Lucio is that he doesn't even touch that issue. If anything, he's basically, somebody could say that he's against it because he hasn't even touched the issue. Now, his son likes the CBD oils or whatever that is. I am for the full legalization of the entire plant, And when you legalize, when you decriminalize marijuana, look at the states that are benefiting from doing exactly that which I am wanting to fight for. When you decriminalize marijuana, not only do you create jobs where a lot of the people in Texas who have questionable backgrounds, you know, a little bit of something that may not even be a crime of moral turpitude, right? Something that, you know, doesn't prevent you from getting a job. The hemp industry and the marijuana industry can create jobs for those people who feel that they can't get jobs anywhere else because of their background checks. Okay. Yeah. Also, the criminalization of marijuana will prevent our youth from being locked up and getting criminal records simply because of cannabis.
So I want to make sure I understood you correctly, because you support legalization of gambling and you do support the legalization of marijuana.
Absolutely. Those are two revenues that absolutely need to be taken advantage of.
That's a very libertarian, and the libertarian philosophy is running high within the Republican Party. So that could be a Republican flavor type philosophy by legalizing marijuana and legalizing gambling in our state. Do you believe racial discrimination and school segregation exists in public education in Texas, as Senator Bernie Sanders believes? What would you do to combat it in Texas if elected?
What was the first part of that question?
Do you believe racial discrimination and school segregation school segregation exists in public education, as Senator Bernie Sanders believes?
I believe that
And what would you do to combat it in
I
Texas?
believe that there's classism that exists, and classism can be classism is the greater thing, because you have students who are poor and students who are not poor. And yeah, I absolutely think that matters, especially in regards to some teachers giving some curriculum to some students. They may be more likely to give a lot of attention to the children that they know come from families that care about them more, or that have more money, or that pay attention to the child a little bit more. So versus the other classes of children that you can tell are they don't get as much attention as perhaps the ones that I just stated do. So that level of classism allows some districts and some teachers to slack off on giving the appropriate amount of attention to all students. Some teachers, some. So I do believe that it exists. I do. That thank goodness for all the teachers that don't demonstrate that.
Again, a reminder, we appreciate a like on our Facebook page and a subscribe on our YouTube channel if you like our content. Just for future reference, tomorrow we'll be discussing the vice presidential debate. We'll be doing a live of the debate. We'll be talking about the debate. So bring whether you support Vice President Biden or President Trump and their running mates, please join us. And on Thursday, we'll be having executive movie producer, the movie producer for Infidel. And also a new documentary is coming out. It's called Trump Card. And so we have really cool stuff that we try to do here at Real Politics. So we appreciate it again. And again, welcome, Vanessa, because Manny put it up again. My next question for you, and I do appreciate your answers. I do. I'm trying to get my phone to work.
She likes seeing her name up there. You see that?
Liberal progressives support ending what they call for-profit greed in our Texas criminal justice system. Would you support any or all of the following as legislative initiatives? 1, banning for-profit prisons and detention centers. 2, ending cash bail and making prison and jail communications. 3, reentry, diversion, and treatment programs fee-free.
Hold on, because that's a multi-pronged
I know,
question.
I know. I just want to see where your position is on this particular issue.
Okay, the first part was what?
Banning for-profit prisons and detention centers.
Absolutely. Anytime, let's go one by one.
Right. That's fine.
Anytime that you privatize, any kind of industry that matters, you're going to decrease the quality and the access of that particular industry. And whenever you privatize things like healthcare, then it's all about making that margin bigger for the people that are trying to profit. Okay? When you privatize college, then it's only going to be the people that can afford it, or the ones that have the best opportunities to be able to attain that higher level education. So when you privatize prisons, there is no incentive, first of all, to fix the broken parts of the prison system. And there is very many broken parts of the prison system. But when you choose to deprivatize and make it just a government-run industry, then you increase the quality, because then you put the burden on the government to be a little bit more humane. And it's not just a private person or a private corporation that's going to take the brunt of it. It's the government.
Okay. The other thing, would you be willing, and again, this is what progressives believe is for-profit greed. Would you believe that these are examples of for-profit greed?
Excuse me?
Do you believe that some of these are examples of for-profit greed?
Well, you only said one.
No, I'll give you more, but okay, we'll go through all three and then I'll ask you that question. Awesome. Do you believe in following? Okay, would you be willing to put legislative initiatives for ending cash bail and making prison and jail communications? Ending
cash bail?
Yeah, would you be willing to end cash bail?
Ending prison community, like in other words, cut off the inmate's ability to connect to the outside world?
No, would you end that? Because right now it seems like they're not able to make that communication to the outside world as much as they want to.
I think that we're not going to be addressing, if we're going to continue to poorly address the issues of medical access to inmates, poorly address the issues of mental health. You know, there's a lot of people that are in jail right now, inmates right now, that are in there and they don't have those kind of basic, very important needs met. And some people say, well, they did the crime, you know, let them do the time and let it be as inhumane as possible. I'm sorry. As a government, you have to, at the very minimum, provide a humane situation for them. So if we're not going to be taking care of the mental health issue and their health and stuff like that, then cutting off a communication or making it more difficult for them to communicate to the outside world is going to exacerbate all those problems that haven't even had enough attention.
So you would be willing to end cash bail because that seems to be a very big progressive issue in this election cycle. You would support that?
I think that ending cash bail would make things a little bit more fair. Okay. Because right now it just seems like the people that can afford the most money are the ones that are out of jail.
Right. And then would you be in support and put legislation forward, if elected, for reentry, diversion, and treatment programs to be fee-free? In other words, no fees whatsoever. You don't have to pay for that stuff if you're wanting to get re-entered into society.
Like to assimilate them back into society.
Right.
All the things like, hey, you know, you've been in prison for 20 years. Now you need to learn how to live in the real world.
And you have to pay for that. And so progressives want to end that and make it fee-free for felons and convicts and people that have been in jail.
So they basically, wait a minute, what do progressives want to do? They want to help these people, or they want to take away?
They want to end it. Right now, like you just said, there's fees you have to pay back to the system. You have to make all these particular fees in order to re-enter society. And what the progressives want to do is end that so that there's no fees. You don't have to pay that. We just want to make sure you get your treatment, get your diversion programs, and you don't have to worry about these fees. That's what progressives want to do. Would you support that?
I think that's a good idea. So, and honestly, it should be taken as a case-by-case basis, not a blanket thing. Because if you look at the case and you see that person truly was just being a criminal, there was no other mental illness involved, there was no other substance abuse involved, that means that person was likely just making a choice to be a criminal. There's a difference. There's a difference between that and between those other two groups, the mental health and the substance abuse. That's different. So it had to be taken on a case-by-case basis, but yes.
So as a whole, the examples that I've given are examples of what progressives see. If we end these things, if we fix these things, that you'll end the system of what they perceive to be for-profit greed. Do you believe that these are issues that would end that, or do you not agree that these are examples of for-profit greed?
Yes, obviously the bail system, they're making money off that. The bail bonds are making money off of that. People are making money off of that. And you don't know if some judges are out there forcing these kind of bails and then they're getting something under the table. You don't know that, but the possibility exists, and you always need to think about that possibility. I think that this would make a really big step towards reducing racial institutionalism. I don't think that this is going to completely fix the issue. And the issue does exist. The decriminalization of marijuana will absolutely. I'm the only one. Senator Lucio, during the ACLU, there was an ACLU panel, and it was when 3 of the Democrats were still running. Senator Lucio did not bother to show up. And they asked us a question. I'm the only candidate still right now. I'm the only one that wants to. You ask me what kind of bills I'd like to introduce. I want to introduce a bill to release all TDCJ offenders that are in prison right now for crimes involving marijuana, in which they were not violent. Okay, and to me, that decriminalization of marijuana goes hand in hand, because the rationale and the basis that you would give for the decriminalization of marijuana is the same rationale that you would give for releasing these offenders for those kind of crimes. And yes, that will help also. And I'm also for the expungement of anybody that is in TDCJ right now for crimes against involving marijuana, in which they were not violent. The thing with that is this: if we are going to continue to punish people for the choices that they make in order to put food on the table for their families or in order to survive, how fair is it that we keep punishing them, keep making money off of their incarceration, and we're not doing anything about their outcomes so that they won't have to resort to things like that?
By the way, if you all have recently liked our page, please turn on your live notifications. there should be like 3 little dots. Turn on live video notifications so that whenever we come on live, because later on, I think Manny and I are planning on coming on maybe around 11:30, and that way you don't have to miss any of our lives. Sometimes we just surprise do live. So I appreciate it. Manny, you had a question. You messaged me right now. You had a question.
Yeah, just a couple of things. A reminder again, we are speaking with Vanessa Tijerina. I'm still trying to put your comments up there. And one question came through. I thought it was a joke, but actually pretty serious about it. Would you ever consider pushing to legalize, or what are your thoughts on polygamy?
Polygamy?
Yep.
I think the divorce rate right now is about, and since the 80s, it's been about 50-50. So I think that we already have an issue with couples, whether they're of same sex or different sex, and the high divorce rate. I think that adding the element of polygamy is only going to make that worse. So no.
Okay. Would you? Thanks. Would you support legislation ensuring law enforcement accountability and robust oversight, including banning the use of facial recognition software for policing in Texas, or ending qualified immunity for law enforcement officers?
Ending qualified immunity is a huge thing. But the thing is, qualified immunity is what keeps school districts behaving badly. It is what keeps every level of government behaving badly. But it's very, very important when you have officers that truly behave badly, and not just put the public in risk, but also put other officers that do not behave badly at risk themselves too. So absolutely, right now we have that is very good question. Right now we have a system where if officers were mandated and governed in the way that nurses were in Texas, we'd weed out the bad apples a lot quicker, and we'd increase the quality that we get out of our law enforcement officers. Right now, as it stands, if a nurse behaves absolutely badly, they are reported to the board of nursing. All right, they are completely investigated. There's some things that you are mandated to report. That's not happening with law enforcement. Not only is it not happening, the rate at which they are allowed to resign and go on and keep their records unblemished puts the public at risk when they go on to the next county or the next law enforcement agency. That matters.
Yeah, understood.
So she mentioned about the divorce rate, and I mean, we didn't fact check her when we should have, because she was completely wrong. The divorce rate in 1980 was at 22.6 per 1,000 married women. 22.6. And it's been declining ever since then. It currently stands at about 14. I think it said 14.4%. I'm sorry, 14, just over 14 per 1,000 women. So divorce has actually been on a decline ever since 1980. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Democrat state representative and current Senate District 19, Roland Gutierrez, supports a $10 million gun buyback program. Do you support a gun buyback program in Texas? And is $10 million enough funding for this gun buyback program?
I would support that only if we don't have nowhere else in Texas where $10 million would do a much better job helping Texans.
So if money was not an option, would you support a gun buyback program?
If money was not an option, yes. That means and that's a good way of doing it, because these people are not being forced. They're not being forced to do this. They're willingly doing this. You're not impeding on their Second Amendment right. You're giving them the option to give up their guns.
Do you support red flag laws by any chance?
You mean like when they flag somebody for like mental health or something like that? Or yes.
Okay. The next one, I have to scroll back up because I went a little too far. Would you support or introduce legislation that would ban fracking in Texas? Because we are an energy state. for better or for worse, in Texas, we are a high energy state, and fracking seems to be a big issue, and not necessarily in Central District 27, but in other parts of Texas. And we, for example, we have a lot of windmills in our SD. Some of them are rusting out; they're not necessarily work out. And so fracking seems to be the way of the West, I guess. So would you support and
Sorry, bad habit. And waiting so Constant Chaos says she did not have anything she solidly stood to run on, and that's correct. It seems like a few times her response was, where do you stand on this, or what would you do about this, or where would you stand on this? Well, it depends on the constituents. It depends on what they want or say. It depends on this, and it depends on that. Like if she's trying to address something once she's in, if you're really, really listening to the people, you already know what their issues are. You know what they're worried about. You know what they want from somebody that they're going to elect. You know what they want before and during your campaign. Totally not acceptable to say, well, it depends what they want. I have to see what they want. I got to see what they want. It's like, you should already know. You should already know what the people want. And that's why you run, because you either agree with them or you don't agree with them. And if you do agree and you want to help whatever it is that their concerns are, and then that's why you run. And you run on, well, the people want this, and I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this, and the people want that, and I'm working towards this, or I want to work towards this. Not, well, we'll see when we get there. That's very Nancy Pelosi-ish. Well, you got to sign the bill in, and then you can sign it, approve it, and then we'll see what's in it. Remember that?
introduce legislation?
I think that fracking needs to be, it just depends on the tectonic plates underneath that particular area where they want to frack. Period. Mm-hmm. There's an area. Texas is huge, and it is the second largest state in the nation, second only to Alaska. All right. So when you start moving, you see Alaska's up there where their subterranean doesn't really move that much. Okay. So you can frack and do whatever it is that you want to the soil. And the chances of you moving those tectonic plates and causing some kind of other adverse reaction that is going to affect the public, like earthquakes and things like that, that matters. So I think that we should be that should also be taken on a case-by-case basis. And people should be looking at the ground and checking to see, is this so close to a certain tectonic plate, or is this so close to an area that it may have a potential of causing this other kind of disaster? That matters. I'm not against the fossil fuel industry. In fact, I understand that during my lifetime, the fossil fuel industry is going to, during my lifetime, it's going to be a transition. Probably the next generation, maybe they will be completely, without fossil fuels or without needing fossil fuels. But during my lifetime, I'm reasonable enough to accept that we're still going to have that industry, and that industry is still going to be viable, and there's still going to be a need for that industry.
Alona has a good question, I think. Do you agree with Trump that COVID is not that serious using your background knowledge?
No, I disagree. I think that it's very serious. Look, there's two kinds of COVID that are out there right now. We know that there's a very aggressive type and there's a very less aggressive type. And so knowing that the very aggressive type is the type that people are having a hard time surviving, and knowing that the effects of the more aggressive type leave you with diminished lung capacity, I think that we have to take that seriously. because not every case of COVID is the less aggressive type of COVID. And so anytime that there's lives at risk and it's a pandemic and there's a potential for many people and entire households to be affected, I think that we should always think that that's a big deal.
Right. The state the state budget is currently $250.6 billion, and it was about 16% higher than the previous budget. Do you believe it's too much, just right, or not enough of an increase? If it is too much, what would you cut? If it is not enough, what would you increase, and how would you pay for it?
To be honest with you, I would be pretty unwise to answer that question because I haven't had access to actually see where all the money's going. And to give you an answer, I would say that if we're taking care of all of the things that matter the most and are the most important and the most fundamental issues, then then we have plenty of money. If we're not, if we cannot sustain those issues and find solutions with any issues that we have like that, then we don't have enough money. That I would be really foolish and unwise to answer that question without actually looking and seeing where the money's going and what things can be cut and what things are important and what things we can possibly live without. What's essential and what's not. Period.
Right, that's fair. UT system schools are now offering free tuition for many students whose parents fall below a certain income. However, according to the Texas Tribune, the UT system increased tuition about 2.6% across all campuses for 2020 and 2021. Do you agree this increase affects middle-class families and students unfairly? If so, what legislation would you support to alleviate the cost of college education for lower to middle-class families and working families in Texas? Want me to read it again? I'll read it again.
No. I feel bad for institutions of higher education. They're put in a really bad position. Anytime that a university or college needs to find more funding, the first thing they do is they increase tuition. That's like the only thing that they do. That burden falls on the legislators. Okay, the legislators are the ones, like I said earlier. That's why everything is connected. Everything comprehensively is connected in some way. And so if we realize that we are losing a lot of money and the ability to create revenue, the hemp industry, the cannabis industry, the gaming industry, all of those industries would be able to alleviate the situation regarding tuition. Greatly so. Greatly so. But right now, unless we have any kind of extra revenue coming, the burden is then on the schools to figure out a way to get money. And the only way to do that is to increase tuition. So then when you have a situation where you create laws that the lower income families are in there, it's not really free. It's not really free. That somebody's going to have to take that burden on. And so, yes, it does affect the middle income families who are probably barely making it and don't even fall even near or below the poverty line, but they're still having to pay extra tuition.
So I remember that we were trying to really keep it, straight politics and no monkey business. And when we didn't, we would display the comments, but not address them. Meaning not asking her the question, like the one that you just saw. If you saw it, and the crowd got really angry at that. They got really angry because we wouldn't ask things that were not, about politics. But we all really did want to keep it politics and not, not people attacking her and stuff like that, or just writing silly things, whether they're true or not. We didn't want to get into that. And I remember people got angry, and they were angry afterwards too. Why didn't you show my comment or question, and why didn't you make her answer this comment? Just like the one there about somebody said, I haven't decided, but you haven't addressed why, you haven't addressed the question, have you dated a minor? So we really tried not to get into that stuff. We really did.
that that's not the fault of the institutions of higher education. That's the fault of lawmakers for not creating other sources of revenue.
I usually
Real quick, nobody's using Google. I know Victoria Marie wants to say you can't be using Google right now. Nobody's using Google. In fact, my eyes have been right here on the screen. I don't need to use Google. Everything that I'm saying is right here.
I think you're just writing down your notes when I ask you long, complicated questions. Sometimes they're even convoluted, but there's a reason.
I didn't know that you could research Google with a pen in your hand.
No worries. That's a fair question. Where is he? I don't know. I don't know where San Lucio is, quite frankly. I don't. Usually
I know where he's not. He's not out there trying to get your vote.
We usually do rapid fire questions, but we got inundated with stuff, and I want to make sure I got through as many of the questions that I had as possible, myself and Josh. So we usually do rapid fire at this point earlier, and the rapid fire is fun. It's supposed to line it up a little bit and just get a feel for you. So I'm just gonna start out, and we go like 1 or 2 minutes, and that's it. So what's your favorite color, red or blue?
Red.
Red. Well, you're wearing red. This is the Zach Cantu from KRV's sponsored question. He always makes me ask this question: cake or pie?
Cake.
Cake. What flavor of cake?
Strawberry.
The other
Strawberry cake. All right.
question he always makes me ask, and it's his sponsored question, is right Twix or left Twix? I know it's stupid.
I don't like Twix.
You don't like Twix? I don't like it either.
I mean, right, because going left to me just seems unnecessary for whatever reason. I don't know. It just seems like taking the wrong turn.
It's a joke. It's a freaking joke.
Chess. This is the Ray Martinez. He is in Brownsville. He's well known to be a good chess coach. So he always wants us to ask this question: chess or checkers?
Chess.
What's your favorite chess piece?
The queen.
Seriously, the queen. You see, that's a good question. Manny, you got any?
I was going to say football or basketball.
Basketball.
Nah. And are you watching sports? What's your take on all the politics that's been injected into sports?
Okay, which one? The COVID-19 situation that's affecting sports, or the racial stuff?
Well, yeah. That's not really rapid fire, Manny. So is it okay if you answer that question after we're done with rapid fire?
Right. All right.
All right. Favorite basketball.
I know, that was a pretty comprehensive question.
I know. It's not even rapid fire. What's your favorite basketball team right now?
My favorite, the San Antonio Spurs.
Okay. Right. Okay.
Cowboys or Texans?
Ooh. I know, right?
Cowboys.
Cowboys. That's a tough question. That we asked that question. Astros or Rangers?
Astros.
Okay, red is favorite color. Iron Man or Batman?
Iron Man.
Iron Man. Why?
Why? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, both of them don't have their own superpowers, so both of them themselves without their artillery. It's just Iron Man seems to be always a little bit more like he seems really smart in a way that I haven't seen the narrative of Batman demonstrate.
Okay. DC Universe or Marvel Universe?
DC.
Okay. So you go with Iron Man and DC. You're so contradictory, Vanessa. I'm just kidding.
The whole DC. But you asked me about.
I know. I get it. It's okay. I get it. Star Wars or Star Trek?
Star Wars.
Star Wars. Yoda or Spock?
Yoda.
Okay.
You can't even compare those two.
Okay, you got Josh. You got a question?
Teddy Roosevelt or Franklin Roosevelt?
Ooh. Oh my goodness, that's Franklin.
Really? You had to go with Franklin? You couldn't go with TR?
Simply because of this. I love Teddy Roosevelt, and he is the only other progressive Republican ever before me, unless you guys can think of anybody else. He's the only other progressive Republican in history, right? Now, one is conservationist, and then I was breaking it down, and I was like, well, I've seen kind of like a racist kind of thing attached to Teddy Roosevelt, which is the reason that I said FDR.
I'm not gonna go there because I'm a history person and I don't want to fight with you on this one. So we're good.
Well, no, I remember because it broke my heart a little bit. Whenever I was doing my research on Teddy Roosevelt, I was like, "What? You met with these people?" That was a little bit like he took the side of racism in a certain situation, and so that's the only reason that I picked
That's why it's a tough question. That's why rapid fire questions are tough. You know, one or the other. I was Bill or Hillary Clinton.
Between those two,
I know it's tough, really tough.
Hillary.
All right, Biden or Trump?
Why though?
It doesn't matter. Just Biden or Trump.
No,
you can say why. Oh, fine. I'll let you say why. I'll let you say why.
Batman and Iron Man. And this is very important.
Yeah.
Trump, only because of this. Both candidates, to me, one is not better than the other. One's not better than the other. Now, I would not have wanted Biden. Somebody else should have been the Democratic nominee. And if anybody's mad at Trump for being Trump and for him for being our POTUS, they need to be mad at the Democratic Party for not nominating somebody that could compete with him in 2016 and 2020. Now, the reason that I picked Trump is boils it down to one thing and one thing only: the plight of women. Simply, and that's it. I would rather not risk 8 more years of a man in power as POTUS and only cement 4 more years of a man in power before we're able to get a woman in there. And by voting for Biden, you are definitively risking 10 years before we get a chance to put a woman in that seat. At least with Trump, you know that you're only going to get 4.
Our favorite Fox News host, Sean Hannity, Tucker Tucker Carlson.
Sean Hannity.
Okay. All right. Do you have any questions, Josh? Because we're done. No. Now we'll do the Manny question that he wanted. And nobody gave us any rapid fires. You're allowed to give us rapid fire questions, guys, but nobody wanted to. It's okay.
Go ahead, Manny.
Yeah, we got some rapid fire, but they were not worthy of posting.
Okay. All right. No worries. Manny, what was your question about the politics and sports?
Not going down to that level. Yeah. So politics and sports. I mean, I love football. I love baseball. I'll peak at football right now, but just everything that went on with that was just handled, I think, so wrong by the league. Even the NBA putting the victims' names on their jerseys when there were, more police officers that were killed and victims of these victims that were raped or assaulted. And I just think it's business. I don't get it. It doesn't seem real what they're doing.
This is the thing that I have. Look, I understand why you feel that way. I really do, because it's like, come on, you're taking a national pastime and you're doing it this way. But there is no change and there is no movement politically that ever occurs unless there's a level of outrage that's created. No level of outrage was being created, no matter how many. Now remember, these are black folks, okay? The majority of the NBA and the majority of the NFL are black folks. I'm
even though it's true, but do you have to use the word folks? Oh man.
These people are capitalizing off of the strengths and bodies of these black folks. How is it from the beginning of time in the United States? They were in chains. Now, many people are making money off of them. Now, imagine being in their situation, knowing that you're making all this money, right? And unless really you're in the entertainment industry or you're really good in sports, you're really not going to get ahead in this life if you are black in America. This is true. Just look at the statistics. Now, if you realize after years and decades, nobody's looking at how we're being affected out in the real world with the police. The only real way to make a certain level of outrage is to use a platform like that. And we cannot, I cannot say that they were wrong for doing that. Nobody was listening to them. And if Kaepernick hadn't done what he did, nobody would have cared. He was just happened to be the first one to do it, so he was crucified, just like me. I was the first one to do a lot of things here, so I'm crucified and seen as a troublemaker.
Yeah, but my issue is you got time before the game starts and you got time after the game is over.
Well, you can't raise the necessary level.
Do your whatever with you got the press in the locker room. You can say what you want right there.
You have to
leave the game
I
alone.
get it. I know what you mean, but I also get, because I'm looking at it from the mind of an activist, that I understand where you're coming from. But if you look at it from the mind of an activist, you're like, that's not going to create, I'm going to have to potentiate my moves. The moves to create the necessary level of outrage are not going to be potentiated before and after the game. They're going to be potentiated when all eyes are on the field, which means during the game.
All right. I did not mean to keep you longer than an hour, Vanessa. I always try to respect.
I do this for 2 or 3 hours.
Oh no, I do like to respect the time of our guests, and I told you it was only going to be an hour, a little bit longer, and we went a little bit longer than we planned on it. But I think,
gentlemen, it was a pleasure. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. Vanessa, I always end with this question. Is there any topic or question like a question I didn't ask, or topic that you feel passionate about that you'd like to mention now for us, and have that be your closing thought for today?
I want to look really quickly, because I did not release this. This was just today. I released a bullet point of my platform, and so I want to just mention this really quickly.
Here comes the flyer.
Because this matters,
I think.
And that's how I'm going to answer this.
Okay, no worries. Oh, sorry.
So I want to say this is going to be on the back of my flyer, and the front's going to be the bullet points. But this to me is important. I am the only anti-corruption candidate. I'm the only candidate with healthcare experience, and I've been a nurse for over 20 years. I'm the only candidate that fought for special education students, like I explained earlier. I'm the only candidate with a proven track record of activism and advocating outside of an elected seat. I'm the only candidate that is not a millionaire. I'm the only candidate that is not part of the compadrismo system, and I'm the only one that's unconnected. I'm the only STEM candidate, science, technology, engineering, and math. I'm the only candidate that is pro-cannabis and pro-hemp industry.
What does that mean, though, when she says, I'm the only STEM candidate? And I don't remember. You should have asked, I suppose.
And I just explained to you, gentlemen, why that matters. And I'm the only candidate that does not make money off the current system. Senator Lucio makes money off the prison system. And to me, that's a really huge problem. And I have to say that because this is part of my platform. Now, what do I promise to fight for? Because in the end, you cannot promise everybody. What voters want, they know that it's going to be an impossibility for you to get everything that you fight for. What they care about is that you actually deliver the fight that you say that you're going to deliver. That's what they care about. And it's like in love. This is a form of love. It's not romance. That when you're in a relationship with a person, really, it's most endearing when you see the level of care and the level of thought and fight that they have to keep that relationship intact. It's the same thing with the voters and with the politicians. They're going to be very disturbed whenever they see, wait a minute, you never ever give us the fight that you promised. But I can tell you, I promise you, I pledge that you will see this fight from me. You're going to see, Vanessa promises to fight for a veterans hospital in the Rio Grande Valley. It's ridiculous that we have 7 veterans hospitals in Texas and not one of them is in the Rio Grande Valley. That's ridiculous. Okay? She promises to fight for the better life outcomes for all children in Senate District 27, not just for the children that are connected. Everybody needs a chance.
Yeah, but she's not really with a STEM background. Math? Engineering? Really? I mean, if she was working in one of those fields, for example, if she was a biologist, and you want to call yourself a biologist because you have a degree, if you have a degree, all right. But I would defer to a biologist who's been working in their field for X number of years than you who supposedly has a biology degree but has never worked in the industry. Big difference.
I promise to fight for the protection and better opportunities for women and children. I promise to fight for the parental rights of non-custodial parents. I promise to fight for job creation and increased oversight over our law enforcement to be able to protect non-corrupt law enforcement officers and the public from injustices. Increased oversight over our schools to be able to protect teachers, students, and staff from any injustices. Increased oversight over our judges of every level to protect the public from any injustices. Increased oversight over our state agencies to create a more efficient government leading to justice for all. Two more things. The release of offenders, like I already told you, from Texas prisons who are incarcerated for non-violent crimes regarding cannabis. Congressional investigations over the most serious issues that affects Texans, aka Fort Hood, things like that. And environmental issues. That's all I gotta say.
Well, thank you so much, Vanessa, for coming on. We hope to have you again, maybe before the election. That's what we're trying to do for everybody again. This is, and I want to make clear to everybody, this is an endorsement of you, Vanessa. No offense, I'm not endorsing anybody. Unless I personally know you, like you're like one of my good friends, I try not to do that. And so no offense to you or to Senator Lucio. So thanks for coming on. I appreciate you. Everybody was liking our page and supporting our page. We appreciate it. We hope you stick around. We do a lot of cool stuff. Manny is in charge of the page, not myself. I just do some of these shows with him. This is our page together, but he's the one who mans it. So if you get mad at anybody, get mad at him, not me.
Thank you for having me, and thank you so much for having me.
When we log off, when we say goodbye, don't go away, Vanessa, please. So any last thoughts, Manny, Josh, anything before we go?
No, just thank you for coming on and sharing your thoughts, Vanessa. We appreciate it.
Yeah, and
there were a whole lot of comments at way at the end. I just decided not even bother anymore because they were just they're obviously from somewhere else, and they were all in line with the same crap. So
same agenda.
So and just so you all know, we're not this isn't a personal attack on
you see, I didn't hate her. I didn't hate her.
Vanessa. That's not what this is for. That's not what our page is for. We want to be as fun. Our 7:30 show is very different than our late night show. Our late night show is more fun, free, whatever. But this is more. I think we try to do a serious show for people, and hope you all appreciate it and appreciate our show and will like our page. We appreciate you, Vanessa, again, and everybody. And tomorrow we'll be talking the vice presidential debate. So please join us again tomorrow. It should be a lot of fun. We'll have some conservative activists from the Valley that join us. I think Josh, you'll be with us. I think Manny's definitely going to be with us. And we'll have some other people. I think Myra's supposed to be with us tomorrow, hopefully, with Latinos for Trump. And again, we'll have an awesome guest on Thursday, Debbie D'Souza. She's originally from Harlingen, and she's a movie producer. She's the wife of Dinesh D'Souza. So if you ever watch Fox News a lot or Ben Shapiro's show, then you will know who Dinesh D'Souza is, and his wife will be with us to talk about her role in the making of Trump card. So God bless you all. This is Real Politics Live. We don't make the news; we just help you see it. So God bless, guys. Bye.
Good night,
everyone.
Yeah, so we had on Debbie D'Souza. If you know who Dinesh D'Souza is, he was on. He's been on all over the news. Conservative. Although he's had good points. He kind of vanished. He was popular for a little bit. Anyway, his wife made a movie, and we featured her, did an interview and all that. It was good. It was a nice thing. I was trying to find the other. There was a second Vanessa interview. That's when she wanted to address the campaign finance report that she did not fill out in time. But I can't. If I find it, I'll pop it back up here. It's not. I doubt it's going to be tonight. Well, let me check one more place. Hold on. Give me 1 second. No. Nope. I'll see if I can find that in the next few days. I know I showed it once before. I found it somewhere. The page Real Politics. I mean, it's still there, but there's a lot of videos that are not on there anymore. Hold on, I'm checking something. Nope. All right. Well, I'll check elsewhere. I'll spend some more time on that. Check out some of these comments. Hey, Jane. When did she develop her autism? Good question. I'm going to say it was really after the incident where she was assaulted in the motel room, December 24th of 2020. Because that's when she started with the autism, really. I mean, she might have mentioned it before, but that's when she started mentioning it a lot. And then she started referring to that beating a hate crime because of the disability or the special needs. So now she was able to call it a hate crime. See how that works? Hey, Rachel. Nice to see you. It's been a while. Have you been keeping up with everything coming out about Gypsy Rose? Nope. I have not seen a single thing about Gypsy Rose. All I heard last, when it was probably just a rumor, there's all kind of freaking fake news about them, about a lot of people. That Ken moved out or something, and I don't know. That there's no baby. I keep hearing that she was never really pregnant and that there's no baby, and it's like, but I've been many months withdrawn from that. It got boring. It got boring. So while we were here doing this, Vanessa was posting on her page, going on a cancel Manny campaign, saying that I'm harassing her and all things. A couple things. What I've been doing is showing contradictory evidence about a lot of the claims that you make. And I've been doing my best to disprove them, because your claims are wild as far as who organized or didn't organize to have you beat. And the story has been it has jumped around a lot, not completely consistent. Why it happened, whether you knew the people that did it, facts about the case itself, about sentencing, about that trial, those trials. And so it's not harassment if I'm just and whether I'm correct or not correct, that's beside the point. When somebody is contradicting you, it doesn't mean that they're a hater or they're a hate page or whatever. But that's your perspective because you like to be hated. I frankly believe you enjoy it. Nobody says, I don't know. I know people in the comments can say what they want to say. People feel a certain way about you. And, that is on them. Yeah. For example, this is something she posted a little while ago. Surviving Manny. This man has been harassing me for years, forcing me to survive him. I ain't forcing her to do anything. His weapon is humiliation. That's one of my favorites to survive. How have I humiliated her? A lot of humiliation she does that happens, she brings on herself. No, never knew him. Never did anything to him. Just another extraordinarily hateful man doing what men like to do to me. Well, obviously, from the video now, we met before, be it virtually or on the phone, never in person. His audience is all humans I have survived, who have been convinced by hate to hate me, and who have a lifetime of hating on people, thus hated me on sight. So you all have a lifetime of being haters. You just hate. You hate everybody, and that's why you hate her. Okay. Sure. None have been harmed by me. Well, you keep saying, these 3 or 4 people who had something to do with your beating, and they didn't. Whether or not they dislike you has got nothing to do with it. But you insist that these people had something to do with your beating. And at one point, I remember you saying you had proof. Like, well, where's the proof? I rarely ask for help. I need your all's help. I have already downloaded all videos, which I have and will continue to be turned into the hands of appropriate authorities. Praying a strong case can be built with enough probable cause for him to be charged for violating the harassment law in Texas. Okay. Please report. Put links to my videos and links to my page. Please report all videos with me as content. The best time is when he is live. He's been making them private after the videos are there. I haven't made anything private. You may ask why I'm concerned about a man with such low number of subscribers, paltry views, and a ratio of number of videos to views that speaks volumes. It's because his brand of hate gives me quiet violence vibes. Jesus. Quiet violence vibes. Yeah, go and find out about my history of violence. Go ahead. Yeah, she just wants me silenced because she doesn't want the truth out there. So she wants to censor. Gee, look at that. She hasn't learned the cardinal rule. It's none of your business what others think of you. That goes for all of us. Very true. She lives on what other people think about her. You know it. Rachel, I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't say she was kissing it, but she did want to be on the program. She did want to be interviewed because she believed she had a chance. All of these things are my personal opinion. Hey, Chris and Nicole, what up? Yeah, Rachel. Yeah, let me see. Let me catch me up to speed on that. Idalia was great. Hey, what's up? Frank made an entire website for her, and she didn't do anything. And somebody else did. There were other people that made strong videos. I mean, real strong. Not necessarily contradicting her, but criticizing. Where's the outrage there? There isn't none, because that was history. Now we're living in the now. And she doesn't want the real truth to get out. She doesn't like to be contradicted. That's why she wants me shut down. And the reality is, I would turn around, walk away, and disappear if something happened. And I've already said it. I'm not going to say it right now. Has she heard it? I don't know. But I said if something in particular happened, yeah, I wouldn't be so on here so much to contradict her. She considers me a pain in the ass, I'm sure. But I'm neither harassing nor bullying. I'm merely contradicting points that she makes about what happened to her at certain parts of her life. Because she's blaming people, saying that they conspired to attack her. You don't even go park at Stars in front of her shack. Why she bad? I don't go to I've been to Ravenville twice. Yeah, twice. Once I went to a bakery. I went to a bakery, this popular bakery that's in town there. And then the other time I went to eat at this little cafe, had lunch or breakfast with somebody else from Ravenville. And that's it. That was all. Ain't got no reason. Hey, is that Demetra? Demetra? Hi there. Welcome. So, moving away from this topic for now. I'm not going to show the other video. The other video is 2.5 hours, and I don't got time for that. I want to go do some serious binge watching right now. And relatively speaking, it's early. It's only 11:20. I want to get a snack. On my page, I posted about Candace Owens, and basically, she received a threat that she's next on the hit list. And where that came from is pretty interesting. And in the previous video, she insinuated that this hit on Charlie Kirk, she insinuated that the French were involved. And it's like, and I used to watch Candace a lot. I used to watch her and listen to her a lot. And then it seems like she took a weird turn. She did a series about, she was very interested in finding out if Emmanuel Macron, president of France, whether his wife Brigitte was born male and then transitioned, because they met. She was a teacher, he was a student, and that's actually when they met. And I believe they started seeing each other when he was still a student, and that's how long they've known each other. And for some reason, Candace Owens was really, really, really on this. That's Brigitte is a man. Brigitte is a male, biological male. Now, presenting herself as a female. And she did I don't know how many part series on that, trying to prove all that. And she says she's got the proof. The Macrons sued Candace Owens because they wanted her to cease and desist. But ever since then, for a while, I was like, why does this even matter? Like, why do you care? And then you find out there's a connection in the United States with the Macrons, and then it's like, all right, I get why you're interested. And the bottom line is, Candace Owens seems like she may be right. Seems like she may be right. So the Macrons, Brigitte agreed to, so to speak, some kind of physical exam, some kind. I don't know what kind. And that's where I lost what happened there. I kind of got bored with it because I kept thinking, but why do you care? Why, but it seems like ever since then, she just took a weird turn. And then Charlie Kirk's assassination was a terrible thing. And all kind of conspiracy theories, man, you name it, it's out there. Was it an inside job? Were the Israelis involved? Was Charlie and Erica getting a divorce? Were they seeking counsel to get divorced? Was somebody at Turning Point USA? Did somebody at the top of Turning Point USA conspire to do this to Charlie? Is that what happened? And then you got to go into Erica Kirk, the way she mourns, and people mourn differently. Not everybody mourns the same way. All right, I get that. But when she came out to speak, the first time ever, it was a small press conference in Charlie's studio where she said a few words for a few minutes, and that was touching. And then there was the big memorial service, and she came out and spoke again. Hey, Paul, what's up? And it seems like and maybe it's just what I think. And even though it's wrong because everybody mourns differently, right? To me, I think she came out of mourning. It seems like she came out of mourning too quickly. And then she started participating in the Turning Point podcast, and she was all smiles, and it is something that rubbed me the wrong way. I hate to think that she had something to do with it. And if you listen to all these conspiracy theories, and the situation around him when he was executed, and the people standing around him, and this guy was making hand signals, and this guy started taking the cameras down, just moments afterwards. It's just a lot of things that, I don't know if we're ever going to get the truth. And the investigation is closed already, apparently. And like shortly after all this happened, they already covered up the whole area, or they're doing construction and tore it up. And it's like, what? And it's just, I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. I can't put my finger on it. Punky, are you talking to me, Punky? Which part are you saying I'm wrong? And I'm not, I'm not convinced with anything right now. I'm not a real true conspiracy theorist guy. Conspiracy theorist. But then you look into Erica's past and what the family is involved in, and the businesses that they do and run, and government contracts, and it's like, it gets more intriguing. And I don't know that we'll ever get the real truth. I mean, I don't know, maybe in 20 or 30 years certain things come out, kind of like the JFK thing. You mean that she had something to do with it? I'm not saying she did, or that she didn't grieve enough. It's just, I don't know. It's my. That's just a thing of mine. And every time she comes out, she's got that little napkin or handkerchief or whatever, and there's always, I don't know. I feel it would have been better for Turning Point if she was not out there so much. Like, you know what? Stay behind the scenes. Let others step up. Nobody can replace Charlie, all right? But take your step back. And yes, you're the CEO now, the leader. But there's just something that doesn't rub me right about her just out in the public. The Idaho 4, yeah, that's another weird thing too. It is weird. It's just, I don't know. That's then and they're even talking about if this was a conspiracy. I mean, then you'd have to think, all right, well, that means was the White House involved? Was the Trump administration aware and let it happen? And I just refuse to believe that. I you can't change my mind on that unless you show me proof, show me evidence, And for those of you that don't like President Trump, that's fine. And you're going to get all those people that don't like him. They're going to go, yes, he knew. He killed Charlie. And like, we're talking about somebody who doesn't like wars at all, who's trying to stop wars everywhere. Not a violent guy, he is. I feel that way. I don't know. It's just there's a lot. There's too many unanswered questions with the Charlie Kirk thing. And I would suggest, if you don't know about Candace Owens, go listen to some of her stuff. Just go to her. She's on YouTube, but go to her Facebook page. Go to my page. I posted that letter. I posted what she wrote on Facebook this morning. It was last night at midnight, just after midnight. And if you want to go down that rabbit hole, just go backwards from there. I mean, she's got some interesting points. She keeps saying she has the proof, or she had it, or has it, or saw it, or is gonna have it, but she hasn't really made it public. So it's like, and I used to like her a lot, and I want to believe stuff she says, but I don't know. I mean, that's going to be a hard one. That's going to be a hard one. Yeah. What else? Crime in Chicago. Man, that is out of control. Democratic judges making democratic decisions, releasing people instead of incarcerating them. Yeah, how's that turning out, Chicago? One thing I don't understand, I guess, as in California, why do the people of Chicago keep voting in complete liberal boneheads? Dude is incompetent. He has limited the policing of the city, yet he's got an army, a small army of he's got a small army of private security guards for himself. And that's not cool. I don't find it to be cool. Hang on. Just a moment. No, it's all right. All right, you can go on. You can go on. And I got a trip planned there. You know, last night there was a shooting at on State Street outside the Chicago Theater, and that turned into a freaking riot. You know, a lot of I think I posted it on my page. A lot of kids got shot. Teenagers, 13, 14, 15. A lot of people got shot. So what the heck? What the heck is going on, man? It's sad because Chicago's a beautiful city. If you haven't been there, Chicago's a beautiful city. It is. It really is. The architecture is unmatched. I mean, New York's had good architecture as well, but Chicago's different. And it's a very nice place. And to think that it's going down the drain. And then, you know, remember the New York, the lady that stabbed in the neck, the legal immigrant. And then before that, the lady was set on fire. This is in New York. Set on fire in the subway. Well, that happened the other day in Chicago. And then I see what just happened. I don't know if this was Chicago or New York. A guy standing there on the train, you know, strap hanger, grabbing the strap, holding on while the train's moving. There's another guy on the phone and a loud phone conversation. So the guy tells him, hey, you know, take it off speaker. We don't want to hear your conversation. So he pulls out a knife, and the guy who's hanging, waiting for, you know, riding on the train, he gets stabbed. He got stabbed, you know, 3 or 4 times in the stomach over that. Just, and, you know, and the guy has been arrested over a dozen times. Many people said he shouldn't have been out. He shouldn't be out. People were pulling for his incarceration. And the judge said, man, he can go. We'll put an ankle monitor on him. He won't commit any crimes. And there's too much of that going on. Did I ever see Sue? Yes, I did. I saw Sue in real life. I saw Sue in person. It's fascinating. Sue is fascinating. And they have one at the airport also at O'Hare. If you haven't been to the museum in Chicago, they are freaking amazing. The Museum of Natural History, the Field Museum of Natural History in Chicago is freaking amazing. As a kid, I enjoy being there, not just just learning all that history and so many artifacts that they have, and it's really a fascinating place. It's really cool. That's where I saw the King Tut exhibit, King Tutankhamun. King Tut, he went to Chicago in the early '80s. I was a kid, and he was there. My mom's like, "We're gonna go see King Tut." I was like, "All right." And it was a big deal. It was a very big deal. Yeah, Punky, I love Chicago too. It's where I was born. It's where I was raised. It's where I learned. Where I worked. And it's sad to see it hurting, So anyway, tomorrow be back again. We're still going to be pushing this auction, a raffle for a brand new pair of Apple AirPods Pro. Not this one. This one's mine, but it'll be brand new. And I got something else after that, but I want to get rid of the AirPods first. If you are interested, there's about 15 numbers. 15 numbers left. It's $20. That's the Cash App right there, Behind the Waffles, for your chance to win these. If you win and you're near me within an hour's drive, I will deliver it to you. If you're out of the area, I will ship it out to you. So please keep that in mind. And tomorrow I'll be on a little bit earlier. Monday morning I work just like a lot of people, so I don't want to be on real late. So we'll do more. We never got to this video I wanted to get to because this, we were having fun with what we saw already. So tomorrow we'll do that final. Well, for now, that final part. And the video I was going to show is, Vanessa was triggered again by the same thing that I've been doing here for the last 3 days and for the last couple of years. But now she's really going on the attack, and she was going through all my comments and attacking all you guys. A lot of the people commenting on my program. So I want to watch that one. We'll watch that one tomorrow. Anything else? Feel free to leave a comment. You can continue the comment if you like. Comments are always great. You guys do great in the comments. And tomorrow, I don't know. Tomorrow we got a Bears game. And Football Sunday, it'll be after that. It'll be early afternoon. I didn't put the raffle information on a post. I promise I'll do that tomorrow morning. Any questions? Anything else? Let's see. Yeah, I love Chicago. And yeah, I think we're good. We're going on 3 hours and 40 minutes. It's been fun. I appreciate you all being here. Don't forget to eventually, I know I keep saying this. Eventually, I'm going to migrate over to YouTube. My page on YouTube is in the comments right now. So So go to my YouTube page and please subscribe. I would appreciate it. And Facebook also, give me a follow. That'd be great. I put up a lot of interesting articles and true crime stories that have happened recently. A lot of current events. And I put up a post last week about the president of Mexico and the current state of Mexico with the cartels, and it's pretty obvious that they run things there. And I made a post, and the thing's got 140,000 views. It's gone freaking crazy. And I put something up on Ariana Grande today. She's not looking well, in my opinion. So I put up a little thing and I put a question on there, and that thing is going crazy as well. And it's a lot of interesting things for you guys to read and join in the conversation and give your opinion. I don't delete any opinion at all, even political. If you're opposite of me, that's fine. All opinions are welcome. I just don't need rude, belligerent a-holes to start stupid crap. That kind of stuff I will delete, and I will, block or ban people. But if you've got opposing opinions, just be respectful to each other. Argue all you want. You can put whatever you want. Comment whatever you want. I don't block anybody. I value your opinion, even though sometimes we differ. But that's okay. Just be respectful and let the comments go. I appreciate you. Y'all have a good night. Saturday night. I gotta binge watch something. Man, you know what was really good? I talked about this earlier, a couple days ago. Netflix program called The Beast in Me. Have you seen this thing? It's with Claire Danes. The Beast in Me on Netflix. It's right now I don't know if there's more than one season. Right now it's just one season. 8 episodes. I could not stop watching. I went 1 through 6 in one day. And I have to rewatch the final episode. But man, that's really good. The Beast in Me on Netflix is really good. Maybe I'll watch those. I got to rewatch the final 2 episodes. Give that a try. The Beast in Me on Netflix, if you have Netflix. Yeah, I enjoyed it. It's I think it's really good. All right, everyone, thank you for being here. Appreciate you very much. Have a great night. Right? Be safe. We'll see you tomorrow afternoon. Bye.